Uh,
on the air. Let's wait, and hopefully some people show up.
well, it's just sometimes it just takes a moment.
Yep. I mean, I did spread out the word a bit.
Oh yeah, and let's see.
Yep, I also have the YouTube page on my other window.
I'm actually popping that up now.
Yep.
I just don't why I keep forgetting I don't have any of my what you call it plugins for
Yep.
Chrome because I use Firefox. Why would I ever use Chrome?
I
I hate Chrome. I'll be the first to admit it.
Oh, I only use it because of the Hangout stuff. It's better on Chrome.
Uh-huh. Sup, Kingdom Key.
Oh, that's a friend of mine.
Gotcha.
Yep. Hey, Alex. Hey,
Mm,
how you doing, man?
let's
Yep.
see. Uh, don't forget, in case you don't know, you can actually pop the chat out so you
Yep.
don't have to keep the actual live stream window
Right.
open.
Right.
I mean, I still do, but that's for other reasons.
Right.
That's in case I accidentally close out the chat, it'll go right back to the live stream.
hmm And I just sent out a tweet just to remind people, hey, it's going on. If you want to join in and talk, just send me a DM and I'll send you a yep.
Yeah. Oh, I understand. I'm
Hey,
about to.
yep. Hey, it's better to have someone here starting it off with me than no one at all.
Uh,
Oh, and hey, some more of my friends too.
Sup, Zach?
Yep.
And
Oh, yeah,
Tarzak, I guess?
yep. Al and Kingdom Key. Yeah, he's just a guy I met on another stream, and he was one of the first offering to jump in. You're welcome to as well if you want. You want to jump in, Alex?
Mm, that's what I'll do. Ah.
Yeah, because I check he was under the weather, so who knows?
Oh, do you mind if I invite your friendly neighborhood ninja?
Oh, sure. Go ahead.
All right.
No problem. Thank you for asking, at least.
Oh, like it was one of those that your stream,
Yep. Nope. I understand.
and he's getting his kids to bed. As soon as he gets them to bed, he will be joining us.
Cool.
And what's up, Gorilla of Destiny?
Hey.
Uh,
So, yep. Basically, this stream's going to be for any of you guys here, going to be a general comic book talk. Comics, animes, video games. Whoever wants to join up and contribute, shoot me a DM and I'll invite you in if you want. And we'll just shoot the shit. Just trying to make it clear, trying to keep the any talking about drama stuff to a bare minimum, if at all.
Hey,
And we get
hey, hey, I got that out of my system
yep.
yesterday.
Wasn't just talking to you, dude. Was not just talking to you.
Oh no, I take full pride in the level of. Oh god, he needed to seek a burn ward after that.
Oh, yeah. No kidding. Talk about a hut. He's a hut, all right. He just forgot to put the second T in his name.
Right.
Hi, I'm just a guy working on comics. Okay, snake bit goat.
Oh no. See. Okay, when you are trying to go for the burn,
Mm-hmm.
you gotta remember one, the lower the blow, the better. Like especially when you're dealing with somebody who's already decided to, you know what I mean,
Yep.
start shit. And it's like, okay, I was
Yep.
gonna leave you be. I wasn't even gonna bother to, you know what I mean, say anything. Like I didn't know who you really were. I subbed out of being the fact that YouTuber. It's one of those. I guess you can say professional courtesy, since we're all in comics and everything. Even though I'm also news and politics and things,
Yep.
it's still courtesy thing.
Oh, yep. No kidding.
And then he's sitting there calling us all losers. It's like, okay, you decided to go there.
Yep. And it's like if he didn't even mention frugal, you could have thought it was anyone. But the fact he mentioned that for that night, it's like, okay, who else? Who else was he on that night?
Right. And it's
Now,
like, okay, I know I don't have many, like much in the line of subs. I will admit it. I will admit it. I will admit it. But at the same time, I also don't go around calling people losers for no reason.
oh, me neither. I mean, with me, I've openly said I'm not Comicsgate completely, but one, I really mean it. I'm not trying to be like this guy who's trying to say, "Oh, I'm not Comicsgate," even though you look at how he's been before. It's like it's quite clear, guys. Let me in. Let me in.
Oh, I know. Like that's why I said, like, I made sure to go for that burn. Like when you, and that's 90% of it. Like, I guess the best way to put it, the my mom made sure that I had a very quick tongue.
Hmm.
So it's one of those when someone decides to, get on my bad side. All right, all right. Like I said, it was one of those. He's the type of guy that sends unsolicited dick pics and then wonders why he can't get a text back.
Oh,
It's like, oh God, and that's one of the ones I actually said, and it was like that's where it came from. It's like, all right, you want to keep playing this game, dude. And then the to me the best part is when when I got up this morning and saw that he had blocked me.
ah. Well, I still haven't been blocked yet, but probably after my video, I will.
Yeah, guys like him can't handle criticism as is.
Well,
And
the funny thing is, though, my comment's the only one that he hasn't deleted yet on the YouTube thing.
I'm not sure. He might have deleted mine. I know
Oh,
this morning.
you deleted yours. I already checked. Mine's the only one that hasn't been deleted. Maybe because I called out saying, you'll probably delete it. He's probably like, okay, I'll prove him wrong.
It doesn't matter.
Then again, he didn't delete Unranked Chevron's tweet and comments either.
Probably the unranked Chevron. Like I said, he's just jealous.
Yep. And, well, EVS praising him doesn't help.
Oh, I like that. Char's Dag like a Spider-Man level quip question mark. Let me put you like this. Okay, I gave you the first one. The next one was, he's the type of guy that gets beat up every day by his wife's kids and has his money taken, or have whatever money she has left him with taken.
Oof.
Or they steal whatever money she has left him with. And then the last one was his wife doesn't even bother to. Same wife wouldn't even bother to cheat on him secretly because he should be thankful that at least a woman is using him for as a free babysitter.
Oh, ouch.
It's like, and that's tame. That's tame. You saw all the things I was saying in my video, which is a lot meaner.
Yep. Well, anyway, I wasn't want. Let's change the subject for a second here.
Oh, that's fine. I just, to me, it was funny.
Yep. Nope. I got you. But just out of curiosity, what would you say? Yep. Shots fired. But I gotta ask you this: in your opinion, when was the last time you think Marvel was at a golden period?
Man, I'd have to say last time Marvel was good would have to be Civil War. Civil War, Secret Empire. That was the last
Secret Empire.
Yep. Not Secret.
You mean Secret Invasion?
Secret Invasion. Thank you.
Secret Empire.
Don't judge me. Don't judge me.
What, did you like it?
What, Secret Empire? Or Empire? No, I thought it was. Whose bright idea was it to make Captain America a freaking Nazi?
Yeah, I mean, look, I will get the only thing I'll ever give that story credit was it actually was the first Marvel storyline in years to have proper build up. Not, oh, we got a few months before the event, let's just shove it all into a few issues. No, it actually built up over a year to that point. When was the last the thing that was around Civil War was the last time we actually had a build up like that, or Secret Invasion? After that, everything was just like boom, 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 boom. Let's just by the time the next event comes out, we have to cram in the build up within a short amount of time.
Well, it's not just that. It was after Secret Invasion is around the time where you started to have a lot of the identitarians start coming into Marvel and start trying to basically push their ideology over
Yeah,
good storytelling.
to a degree, but it was still telling some good stories. Like I still liked AVX, for example. I mean, that was also building a little bit. Like it wasn't. I still say, while it was starting to get there, it wasn't until by the time of Secret Wars. Hey Alex.
Hello, hello. Did I interrupt the conversation?
No, you did not. I was just simply going to be mentioning how with Secret Wars was the last time great story, not great story, but last decent story they had before Marvel went right off the rails was the identitarian politics.
Oh, okay, I gotcha. But I'm glad to be here. This is really exciting.
Yep,
I'm really glad to be here with you guys.
yep, yep. This is going to just be, like I said, open discussion. Just want to talk about something, bring it up, and chances are, at the very least, I'll be able to talk with you about it.
Oh, absolutely. Just want to introduce myself. I'm Kingdom Key 23. I also do YouTube videos. I do mostly game stuff, but I'm open to anything really. It just depends on my mood, pretty much. So.
Yep.
Yeah, and
Hey,
I've known StarCraft for a long time, and I'm just meeting a new person today. What is your name?
My handle is well, okay. You have my proper handle, which is Bob Bob Dolbot, and then you have my character, which everyone just calls me Bob anyway, because the character's name is Bob Jones.
Okay, cool. Nice to meet you.
Yep, and look who else just jumped in.
Ninja, what's up, dude?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Welcome
I don't recognize
aboard.
2 of these avatars.
Well, you got me, the host of this, StarCraft, or Robert.
Yeah, with that avatar, you're ghoulishly host.
It's
Skeletor, actually, man. I thought I was on the screen with Skeletor. I was about to be like, oh shit, Skeletor.
I am not in a giving vein this day.
No. See, the movie Skeletor doesn't count. You've got to go with the cartoon version.
Yeah. That's perfect.
Trust me, I can do some pretty good villain voices. In fact, people say I do a pretty good Sonic 7am Robotnik. What is it now, Snively?
Nice.
I still say one of the guys that in our group, Tycade, it's funny. He does an amazing Solid Snake.
I've met Solid Snake this weekend.
Oh, you did? That's so cool.
Yep, I met David Hayter. Great guy. Only had enough to get a selfie with him, but still.
Right.
What do they charge for selfies?
For him, $20.
Holy shit.
Yeah. And get this, it was $30 for $30 for a photo, and about $40 for a I forgot exactly what it was and what it was for each one, but you actually charge it also for a voice recording, and then it's actually a bit of a deal if you do it for all 3. But unfortunately, by that one, he didn't do debit cards. He was only doing cash, and I only had $20 in cash on me.
It's a bummer.
Yep.
Hey, still, you got to meet David Hayter. I mean, come on.
And I don't know if any of you guys. I know Kingdom Key here knows what I'm talking about, even though he's not into it. But I don't know if you guys know anything about Ruby from Rooster Teeth.
Nope. Only thing I know from Rooster Teeth is Red versus Blue, and I didn't catch all the seasons of that. Hey, wait, whose channel are we on right now?
Mine. This is my very first live stream.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Congratulations. Your first live streams are always the most fun.
Yep. Well, I was.
Go ahead.
I was going to say I was going to try on Friday, but unfortunately, I didn't realize that at least on an iPhone, you cannot do both a Google Hangout and a YouTube live stream together. I tried. I could not do a start broadcast at all.
Nah.
Yep.
Yeah, I have to use my laptop.
Oh, yep. If I had known, I would have brought my laptop with me on my trip, but didn't think about that. I just thought, I got my phone. I could do a lot with my phone. I'm able to join the Hangouts. You could join the Hangouts. You just can't host a stream on Hangout on your phone.
Well, it was a learning experience.
Yep. It just happened to happen the same day I had lost my debit card at the convention.
Ooh, I hope you got that canceled.
One of the worst places.
Yep, I did cancel it. Even though I found it before I left, it was in the lost and found. Even though I checked that morning, they just checked one little box. I decided maybe it showed up before I left. Went over there. Oh, turned.
You muted somehow got muted again.
I know what it is. My headset doesn't do very well.
Ah.
It disconnected, reconnected. As I was saying, it was in another box. The guy in the morning didn't bother to check. But I'm still getting a new card because who knows? Someone could have found it and wrote the numbers down.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that always how it goes?
Well, it's better to be safe than sorry. I mean, pure and simple.
Yep.
I mean,
yeah.
But
unfortunately, we don't live in the 40s and 50s where if something like that happened back then, people would just, found your card. And, they'd try to get it back to you. Now it'd be...
Ooh, got your card. I got someone's card. I wonder how much money they have. Whoa, cha-ching!
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying there wasn't scrupulous people back then. It's just that there was, there was a sense of community, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't do your neighbor dirty like that.
Exactly. Although, to be fair, I do the smart thing. I have multiple accounts. I have my main account where I put all my money in and all that. And then I have a debit card account that I put money in. But even between that, I even have another account where I put a big chunk of money for the month in. So I do a 3-step system.
Good luck getting your money.
No. It's because my debit credit card only goes to that one account, and it's a credit union.
No. I'm saying to anyone trying to get your money.
Oh yeah. Because good luck getting that because it's a completely different account. So yeah. But yeah. I back to the question I had asked. I would say the last truly golden, unanimously golden period of Marvel was actually have to be the post-Hero Reborn, the Hero Return era. When you had Kurt Busiek and George Perez on Avengers, Dan Jurgens on Thor, Kurt Busiek again on Iron Man, and stuff like that. Mark Waid back when he was sane, doing his second run on Cap after the great run that he had before Heroes Were Born.
All I gotta say is everything that has had Mark Waid on it has pretty much been tainted at this point.
I still argue that because I still have the omnibus with me and I flipped through it. And funny thing is, the story he had done during his recent run is almost a retelling in a way of something he had done during his earlier take on it. Just not as much on the nose with the politics of who he was taking pot shots at.
Well, the whole thing is when it comes to Mark Waid, he will always be remembered for, quite frankly, at this point, basically the shit he's been pulling, his hypocrisy, I'm strong, so it's my job to protect the weak, while running around acting like the biggest weakling of all. I mean, and being a big, overgrown hypocrite. But, that's my opinion. You don't have to agree with it. I'm just saying it's my opinion on Mark Waid.
Right.
Kingdom Come was one of my favorite books, and so I still feel like when he pulled that shit, it
the thing about Kingdom Come is, though, that is still more Alex Ross's story, because you actually had to have Tom Peyer come in and talk to Mark Waid, who was about to have a breakdown because it didn't match how he felt Superman would have acted. Someone else had to come in and explain it to him before he finally, came around to it and find a way to work through it. So that was more...
I did not know that.
Yeah, that's actually how it was. That's gone on record that's saying that Peyer had to come in and just settle Waid down because it was about to fall apart. Because, again, Waid's just like, why would Superman do this? Why would he leave after this? Why would he? And it's just like, Mark, you got to think of it like this. Oh, I mean, remember this. This is the same guy who didn't want to do businessman Lex, that it wasn't Silver Age Lex. He only finally caved in after the animated series did it, and other people he had respected in the industry were liking it. He's like, okay, maybe there's something to it. But it took how long before he finally caved in?
Mm-hmm. It's like, I've always been one to be like, all right, I like me personally, I always preferred the basically business CEO Lex.
I say to a degree. He has a good shelf life, but he shouldn't be all the time, because it does eventually lead into the whole, how many times is he going to be able to get away with, with stuff before he finally catches up to him? Because otherwise it makes him untouchable to someone like Superman, which is fine at first, but only so long.
Well, for me, it's one of those, how do I explain it? It makes sense. Because
the reason behind it, I agree.
Like, you have these big multi-billion-dollar conglomerates that do get away with things that they shouldn't, and continuously get away with it. And if they get caught, they just pay a fine, and that's it. And that's why I've always thought that, to me, that made a lot of sense. Lex Luthor would be the type to own a big multi-billion-dollar conglomerate, and it would be, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I know what you mean.
So it's just, like I said, I liked it. I thought it was a good change, and yeah, that's.
Yep. What about you guys?
Well, my limit with I'm not like as big as comics. Like, I have a general idea of them, but like, are we talking about just like Lex Luthor in general? Sort of
in general. I mean, you at least know about him from the anime series where he was the businessman.
Yeah, but like, I don't mind like them exploring other ideas, because it's like, he's not just a businessman; he's really smart too, and I'm sure he can use his smarts for other things as well.
Right. I mean, that is what kind of led into it, was the whole notion of it. Is what Marv Wolfman said. Why would Lex spend millions of dollars to build a robot just so he could steal a couple $1,000?
Mm-hmm.
That's strange.
That's exactly, because I think he was more thinking a little too deep into it, to be honest. But at the same time, it's a good point.
Oh no, it's a very good point, and it's like, to me, that's why I always thought, when you have someone, once again, who's, like I said, who has this multi-billion, if probably even trillion-dollar corporation, you're not going to leave something like that to chance.
Oh, well, yeah, it's part of the reason why I accept that post-credit version of Lex. The reason why he hated Superman wasn't because he made him bald. Nope, he got bald naturally. It was because he's like, hey, I pulled myself up by my bootstraps and worked my way up to this and earned my spot. And here comes this alien just giving this adoration, just, just for no other reason than, I have these abilities.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, there's the same Lex who also, right early on, a scientist used a computer to deduce Clark Kent as Superman, and she's like, it's the only thing that makes sense. Of course it does. For a computer, Superman is like a god. He would not want to live among mortals. Why would he? If I had that power, I wouldn't do that. That's the issue, Lex.
Yeah. Well, and it's not just that. You have to also look into the fact that Lex Luthor is one of those people. Like, the thing I liked about for instance, the Jesse Eisenberg Lex Luthor in BVS, like, a lot of people are like, oh, it's like, no, he actually, had the right mentality. See, Lex Luthor's big thing is he's, in this respect, he's kind of like Batman. If he has basically the whole, if Superman is all powerful, he cannot be all good. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And
in his mind, yeah, he definitely feels that way.
Yeah, and Batman v Superman, like, I liked Jesse Eisenberg's portrayal because of the fact that it showed him, it was the first time you actually saw him be smart. Like, Gene Hackman's version, he was more diabolical, not really that intelligent. Same thing with Kevin Spacey. It was all about money, money, money. But whereas Jesse Eisenberg, it was all about you know, you could tell he always had a plan, and even if something didn't work out, he would fall back on whatever the backup plan was.
True, but I think it's still in his acting. I mean, there's a reason why some people made the joke of he's basically the Riddler or Joker. I mean, Joker as in the Heath Ledger Joker.
Yeah, I totally get that. It's just like, again, like I can see what they're trying to go for, like, because like the Richard Donner movies are of course classic, but there's definitely like a cartoonish like vibe to them, especially with like Lex Luthor. Like, what was the actor's name again for the
Gene Hackman for
Gene Hackman? Yeah, like he was good, but like it was like you said, like that was more of like money, 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 and all that stuff.
Well, given that era of Lex.
Well, that's true. Yeah,
they had to work with. This was pre-businessman Lex, so this was actually a bit of a getting closer to that, but we're still in the era of mad scientist Lex.
Yes, but the whole thing is Gene Hackman's Lex Luthor was nowhere near mad scientist. He was more, I guess you could say, he was closer to businessman Lex. He was a real estate mogul that wanted to make more money by selling property.
Buying them cheap and then destroying the rich property so that his property would go up in value. Yeah, but I would definitely say Spacey's was the logical leading to showing, oh no, he is close to the mad scientist. And hey, need we forget Superman 4 or Superman 2 where he used that device to follow whatever those waves were to find out he went up north? Why would he go up north?
No doubt, but it was Superman 2 was more of the Zod movie. And may I say, like, okay, I never really liked the Superman 2 Zod. I always preferred the Man of Steel Zod because the Man of Steel Zod felt more like a general to me.
I would agree to that, but you cannot beat Neo before Zod.
And you totally can, because just the way he
oh yeah, sure. I will find him.
I will find him.
Hey, Ninja, you've been a bit quiet. Anything you want to say?
Sorry. No, I'm here. I just didn't want to. I was coughing and I didn't want to. I forgot to unmute. Well, this whole thing with Lex Luthor. I mean, my favorite version of Lex Luthor was from Forever Evil.
Oh yeah.
And you know.
Because let's be honest, that's a total throws out the window. Everything that was happening was Lex up to that point in the New 52. Yeah,
and then all of a sudden now Lex has got to pretty much stop the world that he wants to control from being destroyed. So I really kind of thought that was an interesting take on it. And if anything, that gave me more like respect for Lex Luthor because, yeah, in kind of the same thing, like Dr. Doom isn't necessarily the worst guy, but they've got an agenda, you know? They want to have that control, and they view that they're the only ones who know what's right for the rest of the world. But Lex Luthor is a little more evil because he wants to make a profit off of it, where Dr. Doom, it just wants to make sure everybody's following under his rule.
Well,
Doom's rule!
At the same time, even in the comics, the Panther God even said that the only way the world will survive peacefully is if Doom takes it over. And it's like, that says a lot.
Oh, yeah, no kidding. There's a reason why Doom is up there. Charizard is asking, do any of us watch Supergirl?
Nope.
No.
Not really. I mean, I started a little bit, got behind it from what I've been hearing.
That didn't interest me too much.
I tried. Believe me when I say this, I tried. I watched the first episode. I thought it was good. I went to try to watch the second episode, and I was like, "This is just." It was boring. It struck me as there was a whole lot of needless drama in it. Like I guess you could say that they were trying to. I understand they were trying to show her just starting out her career, things like that. But it was just like I felt like half the time what you were seeing on the screen was just her making mistakes needlessly. Like,
Right, I get what you're saying.
Oh
her,
yeah.
her Kryptonian DNA already sets her apart intellectually. Like, because that's one of the things that if I remember right, Kryptonians, because they get super intelligence from the yellow sun too.
Yep.
So Superman's always knows what to do. So she wouldn't be making these mistakes. She would be.
It depends. If I recall right, wasn't she always holding back on her powers up until that point anyway? So, and the Kryptonian brain, it's always up in the air whether or not it is. Oh, hey, Perch. We got Perch in the chat.
Well, hello, Perch. Thank you.
Yep. But yeah, it was again, it's always up in the air what some interpretations whether or not the super intelligence is just automatically going, or do they actually have to trigger it in their heads?
Well,
you know what I'm saying, right? And now that if I recall right, at least when Jeff Johns did, discussed the super brain, how it kind of reactivated after Infinite Crisis and up and away, how it was his brain was moving much faster, much quicker. That doesn't guarantee complete and utter uber intelligence. It just, like you have all this knowledge in there. It just basically means that your mind is operating on faster synapses, which is a big difference from, say, the mental thing, though, Char, is more applying to the mental blocks. Yeah, of holding back his powers. Yeah, but that doesn't usually apply to their mind.
I'm just saying that to me always bothered me. Like then again, like I've always Supergirl in the comics has always been a fairly astute individual. Even in the animated series, they always portrayed her as being very astute. Like, she doesn't make a lot of mistakes. Like,
but if you're gonna make a show out of that, though, it could get boring.
That's being the fact that originally I think I just need to start watching from season 2 on, where they tied it into the rest of the Arrowverse shows. But then again, I also am so far. I'm on like season 4 of the Arrow and season 2 still of the Flash. So
I just wish they could come up with. I'm saying it sarcastically, of course. Wish they just have a new main villain that wasn't a speedster.
That I agree with. It's like, come on, the
fact they went as far as was what's that one speedster that Wally had to deal with? The guy who had like the cult and all that. At least they went with his name anyway. Wasn't Salvatore? That's the gorilla.
The gorilla.
The guy in the comics, he had the cult of speed.
I don't remember.
All right.
I was never that big of a Flash fan. Zavatar.
What? Savitar. Yeah, Savitar. Yeah. Yeah, that guy. The fact they went as far as to bring that guy in, it's like, really? Okay, you're kind of scraping then.
Well, and to me, the thing that always bothered me is, why does it have to be a speedster? Why can't it just be the fact that he's, there's other villains like that gave him a run for his money. Mirror Master, for instance. Mirror Master's whole thing was giving the Flash a run for his money because he'd hop into any reflective surface. I mean, don't get me wrong. I understand they tried to make Captain Cold a bit of a good guy and whatnot, but they could have kept Captain Cold a villain. They could have
Abracadabra. They could have used.
Oh,
he's from the future.
Yeah, Abracadabra.
The 64th century, which I think that means he's the furthest in the future of any DC character.
There's a long list of characters who always gave the Flash a run for his money, and having Abracadabra be the main villain orchestrating everything makes sense because Abracadabra uses technology and he's smart.
Well, and previously with the Thinker. Well, I've been behind on it, but another one they could have done who could be both a regular character in the foreground, but he actually has a bigger plan you wouldn't expect until the very end. The Top.
Very true.
Because remember what happened with the Rogue War? You find out that he had actually been he's the reason why some of the rogues went good and straight, because he was actually using his abilities to manipulate people. So he could actually have it be that he could act like either he's a normal bad guy or maybe even trying to pose as a good guy. All the while stuff is going on. People are acting out of character. At the very end, bam, you find out he was the big bad behind everything.
Well, and at the same time, I mean, the fact that they've done...
But not really.
Well, and I also think the fact that they got all these series that are linked up together, they're really missing an opportunity to have an overarching big bad. Like,
you almost could have implied the Anti-Monitor after that first season finale. Or whichever one that actually had him looked like it was doing the Crisis.
It's just, I don't know. I just feel like once they got more the Flash on, they should have started having the Green Arrow and the Flash start handling villains that are mutually being a problem to both of them. And they could have, because the whole thing about comic books is that you've got these big, massive, overarching stories where there are multiple heroes are maybe handling the same villain. Sorry, my cat is demanding attention and he's breaking my chain of
Kingdom Key here knows about cats.
Yeah, I have 3 of them.
Yeah.
Oh, you know another villain they could have done? Cobalt Blue, Barry Allen's twin brother.
Yes, I see you, cat.
Or what? Or has he been in the show? Char, has he been in the show?
I didn't watch Flash enough to know.
Well, that's why I was asking Char if Barry's twin brother was in the show.
I don't know. But either way, my whole point is that it's like the biggest problem I have with the DCU is the fact that they don't have, like as you say, the people they don't have an overarching vision. They're just letting the
answer was no. But I get what you're saying. Yeah, it goes by seasonal instead of anything else.
Like they could be like 3-4 seasons ahead on what they want to do, and as long as they're taking the time to implement it correctly and actually be smart about how they implement it, they could have everyone let's say after the first season of the Flash, they could, like I said, they could have started having combined villains and everything, and they could have been leading up on all the shows to where you knew an Infinite Crisis was coming. Just because of everything that was happening. It's like, you know what I mean?
Yep.
And
hold on, I'm just about to invite Char in.
The more the merrier, right?
Yep.
Yeah, sorry for being so quiet.
Oh, no, I understand.
I honestly, I've loved comic books for my entire life, but I don't remember who writes them sometimes and who, did the art sometimes, and I feel like an ass for not knowing these things.
You could just talk about what events happened. That's all you do that too.
Well, that's true.
I mean, don't feel too bad. I'm like the least knowledgeable about comics in this group.
Yep.
I mean, I know enough, the general stuff of it, but I guess I've been more about other stuff like video games and movies and all that stuff. But it's I do read, I'll read a comic now and then, and I do get into the worlds and the characters and all that. I mean, it's really exciting. I feel like I would like to, but I just don't have the time.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I can sit here and we can get into different story arcs and stuff like that, but when we start talking about who actually drew it or wrote it, then I'm like,
Oh, trust me, in some cases I'm like that too. Not always, but some cases, yeah, it's like, who is that again? Or even if it's people they seem to mention about, I'm like, oh yeah, who's that guy?
Well, that's the thing is when I was a kid growing up, I wasn't necessarily following the artists as much as I was following the characters.
Oh, that's again completely understandable.
Well, that's like I even stated last night in DC's stream. I don't really know the names and whatnot, but I've read the comics, and to me, I think a lot of what the best stories you really don't worry about who wrote it and whatnot because of the fact, like, the only reason why I know who Chris Claremont was is because of Wizard. Pure and simple. If it hadn't been for Wizard, I would have never known who Chris Claremont was. I just knew I loved the 80s X-Men.
Let me tell you something. I got an interesting story since you just name dropped that. I was actually on a stream where Mike Barron dropped in the other day, and oddly enough, I had just found, one of the first copies of Nexus at the farmer's market for $1. And it was kind of weird that I was on the stream and all of a sudden there's Mike Barron, who apparently did the writing for that series. And also
crazy.
Badger. Yeah, I always thought that was weird.
All right, with Mike Barron, I mostly know him for his Outsiders.
Well, he's been...
he's all over
I guess
the place.
1985 was when that book came out, and I was like, oh, damn.
Yeah.
So this guy's, seasoned vet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. He's been around for long time. I mean, just look on the Wikipedia article entries, and you'll find a whole lot of stuff. Just a second.
Oh,
you guys can keep talking.
Oh, okay. No, I'll just, like I said to you before the stream, I'm just kind of talking comics and doing my thing.
Mm-hmm.
I gotcha. Doing your thing.
Yeah, well, hey, as you can tell by Kingdom Key here, he's a Kingdom Hearts fan.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to the third game. I'm still hoping they're probably gonna be no more delays. That's probably it.
Well, being fact you're a video game guy, you'll probably like what I'm playing right now.
What are you playing?
Don't Starve Together.
Oh, Don't Starve Together. I have the single player one. Don't Starve.
Uh-huh.
Oh, that sounds familiar.
The art, it's like it's a 2D survival game, but the art's very like Tim Burton-ish.
Oh, okay. I'll have to check that out. That sounds cool.
It is so much fun. Like, I've got a bunch of mods set up for it to where like I'm trying to get the fast travel mod working. I'm gonna have to get back to my base and then back out again. I guess you have to have it take something away, and like either your sanity or your hunger in order to fast travel. I was just like, I'm already half the time my sanity is running iffy. My hunger. Well, it's because of the fact that I'll stay out on trying to get supplies. Like, constantly. Like, this is one of those games where getting past the I guess one of the hardest things to do is to get like a good like several days, like beyond like 30-40 days, like, and I'm on day 100.
Oh my god.
Ooh.
So it's like is your sanity like really low, or?
No, because I was smart and grabbed up built a tent.
Okay.
So I will have the basically tent keep me. I'll pop in the tent at dusk, sleep, get it back up. Same with my health. And then what it does though is it's a trade-off. It drains your hunger.
Ah.
And so, but because I've managed to stay alive long enough, I have a good overstock of cooked food. So all I got to do is eat a couple of the meatball meals, and I'm full hunger again. Then it's right back to safe to go back out.
Right.
Wait, I missed what game this was.
Don't Starve.
Don't Starve.
Yep.
It's by Cly or Keeley or
well, I think it's Cly.
Cly, but it's the guys who did Shank and Mark of the Ninja.
Oh, okay.
I've heard of Shank.
Yeah, Shank 1 and 2. Yeah, the same company guys that did that. They did two versions. You do Don't Starve, where it's the single player, then Don't Starve Together, which is the co-op.
Yeah.
Now that has to be a blast of co-op.
Oh, it is.
Well, the fact they had to make
really
a separate version
game.
tells you a lot.
Did you guys ever play State of Decay?
I have that on my on my Steam. was playing
That
it.
was a pretty fun game.
Yeah.
It just got exceedingly hard because you'd run out of fucking supplies.
You know, once I got that was another game where
Like
once I
trying to
got
survive the zombie apocalypse is not an easy thing.
oh yeah, but
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
it's like any survival game though. Once you get yourself the base things and you get ahead of what you're going to need, the rest of the game is pretty much a coast. Like, because that's my thing.
Yeah,
I'm all
wow.
about getting ahead. I don't like to have, like, I will go out and scavenge some more just to make sure that I have a surplus of supplies to be able to survive.
Right.
That is commitment.
Yeah, it is. And apparently Char's having a hard time trying to get in. Apparently even using the app is causing issues.
Is he? Did
Yeah,
you?
boy.
Which way did you send him the link?
I sent him it through Twitter.
Tell him to go through Google Chrome
Oh, he
and
doesn't
then
have
sign
Chrome.
into
He doesn't
Twitter,
have
and
Chrome.
then the link will work.
Yeah, he doesn't have Chrome.
Yeah, that's his problem. That's why.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how's he supposed to get on if he doesn't have Google?
There's also the Hangout app on for the phone.
Well, he can do Internet Explorer too, which is what I'm doing, unfortunately.
You hear that, Char? You can try Internet Explorer.
Also, Zach Hawkins just said, "Of course, Friendly has heard of Mark of the Ninja." Am I right?
Oh, of course.
Yeah, wasn't that? Well, you know what? I'm not a gamer. I am not a gamer. I'm sorry. I am not a gamer.
I gotcha.
I was at one time, but when it comes, after having kids, being a gamer kind of drops off real hardcore.
Yeah.
Because they're either wanting to play with you, or there's certain games that you just don't get a chance to play anymore because you can't buy that one or download it or whatever. Because my Xbox kind of filled up. I mean, the name sounds familiar. Totally would like to play anything Ninja. I'm always down for Ninja games, of course.
Right, of course.
But I mean, they're Ninja games, so I mean, they might be hidden on me.
Char said he has a Mac.
Oh well.
Ooh.
I couldn't see. Why did Spork have to go dark? I just ask him.
Oh boy. And the phone app didn't work. That's strange. It should work on there.
Well, it won't work on my phone if I go to Google and then click the link. I actually have to go into Chrome and then sign into Twitter and then click the link, and then it'll work.
All right.
That's my phone. I have a Samsung Note 8, so it might work differently.
Char, what kind of phone do you have?
But yeah, I see what you mean, especially like nowadays when you have video games that they take 30 or 40 hours. You have to dedicate so much time to get through them.
Well, if that, I mean, of course, how many times do you have the games are, to quote Angry Joe, 4 hours?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I hate short games. I hate games that you can beat in one sitting.
Yep. I just sent out an invite to Lola.
Lola Meets, I think.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. It gave her something else to point at. Hey guys, she's not a girl. Guys, check out this stream.
See, that's one thing that has always bothered me. It's like, oh, there's no girls in comic games. There's no females. Who cares?
Yeah.
Hey, I'll be right back.
No problem.
I will admit that has bothered me since the start. It's like, well, you guys don't have. This is just a boys' club. Blah, da, 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 da.
What?
I don't get it. I just don't get it.
Yeah, it's like, who cares if it's we never said we are exclusive. Like, come on, big guy. You want it out, now you want back in. Dude, my cat is like that. Let's just, as I've put it before, he is very much like me. He's an asshole. I admit it.
Wow. Well, at least you admit it.
Hey, oh, dude, You heard, at least I think you heard the level of burns that I did when a dude just caught my ire by messing with, like I said before, I wasn't so much mad that he insulted me. I don't have the subs.
Uh-huh.
But then after my friends who all have the subs and have put their time in and have earned the following that they've got, that is where I get irritated.
Agreed.
Right.
Oh no, I just came back at the right time. We're talking about the hut, aren't we?
Yep.
Sluggish hut.
Yep.
It's one of those, not so much talking about him, but more talking about earlier when I was talking about him, and I was talking about the insane burns that I was delving out.
Yep.
Yeah, shooting hoops, basketball jonesing.
Yep.
Bob might remember that what I'm talking about. Basketball sizes.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, seriously, I mean, that it's like with me. I'm usually a cool, calm guy who'll go in even the worst time. I mean, I don't know if you guys ever saw my going a little back and forth, both recently with Tim Doyle and even earlier back with Renfamous, where I was actually, especially with Renfamous, I just kept my calm, cool, didn't fall into the usual trappings of, hey, bitch, what did you do? Like, no, I'm like, no, keep it calm. Like she said, I didn't dox Tug. I'm just saying, hey, if you didn't, okay. Maybe though, if you do know who did it, you could let us know. And then she started saying stuff like, oh, well, maybe once they start denouncing all these other pros, it's like, of course, you're making stipulations. To which I just simply said, hey, if you want to actually earn something, right now we got two clashing viewpoints of egos who are prideful. Well, one of them has to be the person to actually be the better person and say, hey, okay, I'll be the better person. Why don't we compromise and talk it out? Wouldn't it help you if you decide to be that person? Never heard back.
Oh, let me put it to you like this, and I even did a video about it. I think it was I named it something like "Attack of the Killer Infamous" or something like that. Where I pointed out how she was using, like, she had basically made the comment about how she had all this personal information about CG and this, that, and the other, and various members of CG, and how she was basically, she was giving I could say, the subtle threat of do as I want you to do, or I will dox all of you.
Oh, man.
Give me a second. I will give you the Attack of the Killer Infamous.
Yep.
Wow.
And,
you know, I steer 100% clear of that whole debacle. I won't engage her.
Yep.
I won't engage Tim Doyle. I am not going to engage Mark Wade. I'm not going to engage Brian Michael Bendis. I'm not going to.
I don't know who these guys are, but I'll stick clear of them.
Yeah.
We'll do it.
Doyle and Renfamous are just simply two people who have been notorious at really just. They're some of the most notorious anti-comic skaters, just to put it mildly.
I see.
I think it'd be better put. They are the biggest ones that are spreading the misinformation about Comicsgate.
Yeah, I mean, Doyle it's actually spread more. I've actually found out not long ago. He actually spreads out a lot more than people think. Like, there are people at Rooster Teeth, and all that, who actually are friends with him, retweet him and everything. I'm like, geez, how many people does he know that's in the geekdom community?
Well,
have you seen him? Probably all of them.
Yeah, that's the scary thing. How can the guy who's known for swiping artwork do that?
Well, you also got to take into account you're dealing with ideologues, and you're dealing with some Marxists on top of that. Also, people who have read and follow things like Saladensky or something like that. I can't remember his name, but he wrote the book Rule for Radicals. And Marx said it's one of the tenements in the Communist Manifesto of how to achieve communism, and it is to blame your opponents for the sins that you are guilty of. And Rules for Radicals, I think is rule number 4, hold your opponents to their rules. Well, the thing is, it's a kind of a blend of the two, where they're holding CG to the rules that we have,
Do
while
as I say, not as I do.
yes, while blaming us for the things that they are doing. Because
Right.
think about it, you've seen a ton of people get doxxed on the CG side, but
Oh, hello.
none of the anti-CGers have been.
Hey, Lola.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Hi there.
Oh, fantastic.
Well, that's quite a view.
Yeah, that's a hell of an
I was
avatar
like,
you got
what?
there.
Let me
What
adjust
are we
my
talking about?
glasses. What?
Talking about your avatar. Just a second, guys. Be right back.
All right,
All right.
but
So, any thoughts on the whole Comicsgate debacle that's happening right now? The power vacuum.
like me or
Well, anybody who's got a word to say about what's going down with the EVS disavowing Comicsgate or whatever, leaving Comicsgate or
Why don't you tell us what you think about it?
All right. Well, my personal thoughts are fine. It was originally for everybody in the first place, and EVS kind of took it over to the point where, yeah, I don't know what kind of deal it was with him and Vox Day, but
I'm back, Zach. No, I did not.
but I have to say, it's probably for the best, and to let it either fizzle out and fade away, and independent comics will still be produced and we'll promote each other just like we have been doing, or maybe this will be the step that we need, and new management will make it better.
well, who says we need management? That's the whole thing. It's like, yes,
Since we're all the managers of it, or the leaders, which I originally had thought in the first place, so maybe now we can make it a little more positive. And I have to say, that whole thing, the whole debacle with the war campaign and whatnot, oof, it was cringy.
well, like I said before, I was trying to keep the peace with everybody. It was difficult, but my whole thought on it is it's like all things. If it will show whether or not the Comicsgate was about what it was supposed to be about, which is about professionalism, quality of the product, and things like that, or if it was all about cult of personality. We shall find out. It's unfortunately, we won't know until about a month or two down the line, maybe even longer.
I was under the impression that it was about consumers and treating your consumers like professionals are supposed to treat their consumers.
Yep, I agree with that. That's one of the first.
I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I'm tired of having professionals come out and call us all kinds of names and shit. And
darn Skippy.
I agree.
Yep.
Sorry.
No,
Excuse my language.
Hey,
no.
With what you sometimes go through, Lola, especially in the past, you have every right to say that stuff.
Well, that is true. How many times have they basically said she was a sock account by one of us neckbeards, quote unquote?
Yeah, or tried to have she showed she showed two different images, different lighting, and then the guy's like, see, two very different images, two different women. It's like, jeez.
You really? Do you have to go strawman that quickly? You know what I mean?
Hey, they got to stick to their guns and double down.
Yeah.
Don't you know that women don't exist in Comicsgate?
Right.
We're all just a bunch of cis white males sitting around.
Well, if they are, they're a bunch of very attractive cis white males.
Well, thank you.
Had to go there.
Oh my! I think I'm blushing.
You're gonna say, "Oh my," you got to do it right.
Oh my!
Oh
my! Oh my! And George Takei Choir. Oh my!
I have never said, "Oh my."
It's all just a bunch of craziness right now. It seems like.
Yep.
Well, ideologue's got an ideologue.
Yeah,
What are you gonna do?
but
Well, I think people want to sit and talk shit behind a screen, and then they don't want to take responsibility for the shit they say.
that's one of the unfortunate things. I keep calling it the social media disconnect.
Yeah, I was gonna say, isn't that like pretty much most tweets in a nutshell?
Very
Well,
true.
you know, I learned a long time ago from my pops. You know, think before you speak. So I stand by any of my tweets. Yeah, you guys can fucking screen share them or whatever. I will stand by my words. Anything I say, I like to be honest behind the scenes as well as, you know, in my public accounts.
Yep. Now,
yeah, personally and publicly, I'm the same guy.
Yeah.
Now, with Lola here, I actually wanted to ask her a question that maybe we can get into a different discussion. That you don't have to know comics to get into this. It's because she's a woman, but I just want to ask. Let's talk about female versions of male characters. They don't have to be stuff just like Lady Thor, but they can also be stuff like She-Hulk or Lady Deadpool, things like that, you know, or Spider-Woman. Like anyone, just to talk about their opinions. Like, do they have a place, or should they all just be their own original, you know, characters, not trying to be associated with the IP?
Let me chime in real quick. With Spider-Girl is one of the ones that I don't mind so much because it was actually Peter Parker's daughter.
Oh, no
so
argument.
It wasn't just a female character just being put in there for female character's sake. You know, it was actually a legitimately organic story.
Right.
Because I have daughters, and if I had superpowers, I would assume that they're going to get transferred to them.
Right.
So I can kind of dig that storyline. I never minded that one so much.
Yep, but I'd say something like the female Dr. Light, for example, she was completely different anyway, just only in name, outfit, and powers, and in later retcons, you know, having it be that there was actually a more personal connection. She's my favorite female superhero of all time. I'll be honest about that. Obscure, yes, but there you go. As far as though with others like She-Hulk, that was a case of being brought in for a just to keep the trademark so no one else can take it and use it. But at the same time, look where she got until recent times. She is still a favorite. No, until recently, she's still a favorite of mine.
Oh yeah, well, She-Hulk used to be one sexy babe.
Now she's Hulk 2.
Yeah, and also at the same time, the thing that kind of irritates me about what they did to She-Hulk is she was her own character. Like she was always well thought out. She's always had really interesting storylines. I mean, did they throw in some, you know, a little fan service here and there? Yeah, but
sleeping with the Juggernaut.
Yeah, I was going to say her relationship with the Thing was the best.
Oh yeah,
like everybody needed that. That was like the only relationship that could work because really, you know, who could satisfy She-Hulk?
There was
only
She-Thing. There was She-Thing.
Oh, that was a fail. Didn't she turn out to be a Skrull anyway?
No. That was Alicia when she was marrying Johnny. And actually, I gotta say, I liked Lyja the Skrull. I think she's one of Johnny's best love interests.
I want to know why, like, every male superhero has to be turned into a female. I mean, like, seriously, why can't someone just come up with their own? Why is there no originality in it?
I mean, well, in the case of them trying to fill in the IP so they can actually have the trademarks and all that, that's one thing. But as far as, I mean, hey, that's how we got Spider-Woman. And at least, name aside, at least Jessica Drew was still her own character. I think that's the one thing that always surprised me. That's a character right there that is just in name only, but still her own character. And it kind of works for her. But when you have, and Supergirl, connected to the family, all right. Superwoman, on the other hand, I mean, does anyone remember the original Superwoman? She was from the future Jimmy Olsen's descendant, come to the present using technology. In other words, she was a female Booster Gold before Booster Gold ever came about and wasn't doing it for the money.
Because of course they needed to find like a complicated way to make her what she is.
It was about in the Bronze Age or so when that happened. Of course, it was complicated.
Yeah, not surprised.
See, I don't know. I've always looked at like for me, I never minded the female variants as long as, like you said, they came about organically, things like that. What I don't like is the current need to remove the male variant and replace them with a female variant. And then, like, for instance, take Riri Williams. That could have been a really good character that could have done her own thing. She could have been, like, been just as smart as Tony Stark, did everything that Tony Stark did, and so on and so forth. But instead, they decided to make her, as bad as it sounds, more of a stereotype than anything, and just basically tries to bring everything back to my racism and things like that. And it's like, you know what? I can't even. I can't even. It's just.
I will say this: as much all the flack people get, Lady Thor at least had when under Jason Aaron, not when she's in any of the other books. Under Jason Aaron, aside from a few story beats problems aside, at least he had a story he's been telling. You got to give him that at least. At least this is the case where it happened. I mean, it got the ball rolling for everything else, but he did it because he had something he wanted to tell. It just went on way too damn long.
Oh, I can understand that. Though, playing Marvel Puzzle Quest, she was my the first 4-star character I got.
Mm-hmm.
And because just how annoyed I was with the character and the way she was portrayed and everything, she got dubbed whore.
But funny thing is, though, the funny thing if you really look at it, she's not the first time to have a female version of Thor. No. Technically, Dan Jurgens did it first with Thor Girl.
Yeah.
Oh.
But the thing is Thor Girl wasn't a blatant identitarian.
No, she was a higher being that decided, I'm going to take the form of this. Then after the events with Thanos, she then lost other abilities and was stuck in that form.
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't, I'm doing this because I want to stick my identity politics into comic books even further and stick my finger in the face of the fans and just piss them off. Like, I have no problem. All right, prime example. The thing that bothered me the most is the treatment that Sam Wilson got when he got the mantle of Captain America.
Good idea. I would say it was a good idea. If anyone else besides Bucky that can inherit it, it's Sam.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But how they handled it.
Ooh, how did they handle it?
Well, let's just say it was Nick Spencer writing it by that point, and he, had to put the politics in.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
And besides, have it be people see. I remember someone mentioned it. I don't know what stream it was on, but someone said they see Sam Cap and they're like, "Oh, it's Cap." It's like, why they act like he's like it's not. They're mistaking him for Steve Rogers when it's so obviously not.
Well,
I mean, I'm not one of those who say Steve Rogers. I mean, yeah, he's always going to be Cap. But when you think about this, some of the best stories told are ones where he's not Cap, where he's away from being Cap, even if it's for a short time. Look at the Captain. When he was, what was before the Captain? Jeez. There was a time when he was something else before the Captain, back in the 70s. It was after Nixon.
Oh, Nomad?
What?
You talking about Nomad?
Nomad, yeah. Him as Nomad, even when Bucky was Cap. Some of the best stories.
Which was the 2000s.
Yep. I mean, yeah, it was, and the Captain was before DC did something similar with Superman, was telling why being a hard-nosed badass, beat up people and ask questions later didn't work for Cap. That was the problem with what's that guy's name now? The guy who was the Captain or took over Cap. He later became U.S. agent.
Roger,
not John Rogers.
Yeah, I don't remember his name, but I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, and because he was dedicated but easily manipulated.
And he was also a dick. Let's just be honest.
Oh yeah. But again, great character, and that's why he kind of fit when they put him in West Coast Avengers, because he's the guy who could whip them into shape.
Very true. But the whole thing is, though, like I said, the biggest problem I feel that a lot of these folks that are writing comics now don't realize is, one, they like to sit there and say that, oh, we're entitled and we're this, that, and the other, and it's like, most of us have been reading these characters our entire lives.
We've seen these type of stories told.
Yeah, it's like, Well,
They also like to say that y'all don't know what you're talking about too.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
yeah.
I
Well,
mean,
that's the other thing is they'll when they say that it's like, have you like did you read comic books growing up? Did like it lead that I literally ask this question because of the fact that what they don't realize is had they read these comic books growing up, they would have gained the same lessons that we did, which was that these heroes made us want to be a better people. That we wanted to follow in their examples and be the people that they showed we can be. But unfortunately,
Sorry, I just want to say quickly. I just had an epiphany. Okay, when comics started, it was just guys writing comics, no really caring for the characters, just trying to make a buck. Then you started having the fans for the longest time running the asylum. Now we're starting to get to the people who know about the characters, don't care about everything, but want to use it as a statement. It's almost like the unfortunate next step. It's the people who are aware of it, but are wanting to utilize it instead of being a fan.
and I can see that. I mean, but it doesn't change the fact that the people that are doing it, they don't understand these characters, so of course they're just using them as they understood that superheroes can, I guess you could say, inspire people. They were they were used as propaganda in various times and things like that, but they didn't understand that it wasn't. We didn't resonate with the propaganda. We resonated with the fact that they were good people. We resonated with the fact that they.
And I can rant all day long about what they did to Captain America. You already had the Winter Soldier who did take over the Captain America mantle for how long? He was Captain America for how many? Well, what was it, a couple of years? Bucky, right?
Yeah,
and even somebody who was brainwashed. Yeah, you wanted somebody who was already brainwashed. Why the fuck didn't you write that story? Make him the secret guy. He's like, oh yeah, I'm Captain America because Steve Rogers is dead, and oh yeah, it was part of Red Skull's secret plan or some shit that I was really a bad guy the whole time.
And don't get me started how Nick Spencer just passed the blame over to Rick Remender, saying, "Oh, he set up the pieces. I just put it in what I felt was the logical spot, or the one that could actually cause a good story."
Yeah, and now they made it canon that it's so, this is not, no, Captain America died back in 2008 after the Civil War. Captain America has been dead since then. I'm sorry, but your Disney Marvel, it does not exist to me. I don't believe any of Disney Marvel's is canon. I'm sorry. No, that's just my personal opinion.
I would more say that he died when right during that what was that event where he regained his use again? It was right before. It was right when Remender was ending his run. Have Maria Hill using the Cosmic Cube.
I know what you're talking about. I just can't remember. Like it was right before he threw what was his name? Duder out of the plane.
Yeah. It was during that big story, because that's the point where the mind manipulation happened. That's when he died. When old Cap became young Cap again, this Cap we knew died. Because I did not mind him after he came back from the dead during Brubaker's run, because it was still handled pretty well after Siege.
Well, when they came back and Cap didn't have his shield anymore, he had that weird, like, kind of triangular shield. I knew something was funky.
Wasn't that still during Spencer's run?
I don't know.
Yeah,
it was a free comic book day.
Yep, that was Spencer's.
It was a free comic book day, and they brought him back, Steve Rogers, Captain America, and I was like, "That's not Captain America."
Yeah, that was Spencer's run still. Because up until that point, there was that point after he came back from the dead, but before Fear itself, where he was Captain America, Steve Rogers, Super Soldier, and he wore that outfit that's similar to what he wore during the movies for a while.
Yeah, that kind of where Nick Fury then started wearing the same outfit.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, the funny thing with Nick Fury, I actually thought the way they brought in, Sam Jackson, Nick Fury as Nick Fury Jr. was the last good time they actually had a transition.
Yeah, that made more sense that it was his son than some random. Oh, this is Nick Fury now. You know.
Well, I would have still loved to see some David Hasselhoff looking motherfucker personally, but that's me.
But you know
Hell
what?
yeah.
I seen that movie and it was good.
Oh,
It was actually good.
It was one of those. Well, Goyer wrote it for one thing before he went nuts. Geez, anyone here remember what he said about what he saw She-Hulk doing?
Oh, I don't want to. I didn't see it, and
No, it
now
was
I'm.
it was at a panel. It was at a panel, and that's what caused people to. It was the moment he became persona non grata. Was in the comics division.
Wow.
Mm.
Just wow.
Well, this is why I'm actually advocating for us to make our own comics, do our own thing.
Oh,
instead of subscribing to them. Yeah.
Here's what it was. She called her, and he called her a giant porn star.
Oh my god.
Yeah. After that, people just lost their shit and just simply, that's when, after Evan Jever knows why you don't hear much about him ever since that Man of Steel.
Yeah, I did not know that. I know there were issues with him, but Jesus Christ.
Yep. I mean, I know Jen is known for sleeping around, and all that, but a porn star?
All I gotta say real quick is I'm about to get blocked by Mags Pistachio.
Oh no, what did you do?
What?
Basically the Nerdette just retweeted this. And it's a toast to the utter collapse of Comicsgate, to the rats scurrying back to their holes with their grifted riches, to every patsy taken in by their lies, and to Richard T. Mayer, who has written what may be the single worst comic I have ever read. I hope you all had fun. It's a gif of basically a toast and every...
yeah, I saw that nonsense that freaking Mags put out.
Hey, real quick.
Yeah, she is good.
Real quick, can I just say, Nerdette, I hope you get to feeling better.
Yep, agreed.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Nerdette.
I haven't been too good, but I've been getting better. So
yep.
I wasn't sure if I would be able to come, but I'm like, I'm feeling up to it. I'm good.
Yep, it's good to hear. But yeah, getting back to my original question. But yeah, Lola, where do you stand on a lot of these other, like I said, the female version of male characters?
I mean, I like some of them. Let's see. I like, like Batgirl. I liked it up until Gail Simone switched that one.
Well, here's the big question though: which one, Bat-Girl or Batgirl?
I'll be back. I hear a little one crying.
Not me.
It's totally you. Totally.
No, I don't have a little one.
No, I would, being facetious, that's kind of my thing. But it's like come on, I'm the guy that generally has a snappy comeback to most things. Keyword most. There are some things that I'm just like I got nothing. I got nothing. It just nope. Like prime example, like I said, in response to Mag's post here, it was this picture of crack pipe that I had captioned "hold my crack pipe," and I said Mag's moments before this post.
Oh snap! But yeah. Again, I'm just trying to get some other comic topics on here, because I always keep on seeing people saying, "Can people just talk comics?" And I'm just trying to keep that going. That's all. I mean, for one thing, I guess I'll just throw something else out there instead. Anyone looking forward to Deadpool being rated PG-13 this holiday? Being made a holiday movie?
No.
No.
No. Me neither.
Wait. So they're re-releasing Deadpool.
PG-13, and they're rearranging it so it's like a holiday story.
The original Deadpool movie.
No, 2.
2. That are the oh my god.
I think we just broke him.
See, that's one he's got nothing for.
Yes, because I'm just like my brain hurts because why? I mean, don't get me wrong. The 2 was good, but it was nowhere near as good as the first one because the first one you could tell they were hungry and they wanted to make it good. But why would they still go back, re-release it in PG-13 and as a holiday movie? That reeks of desperation and trying to, since they know they're not getting a third movie, squeeze every last cent out of it that they can, because Disney's not going to let them do what they did again.
Or at the very least, do it as a way like, see, we can make it PG-13. Give us a third one, and we'll make it PG-13.
No. This is Deadpool. He's not meant to be PG-13. He's meant to be the merc with the mouth, and that mouth is very vulgar, crass, and kind of perverted. And I say kind of because I'm trying to be light about it. He's really perverted, and anyone who's read a Deadpool comic knows this.
This is the guy who, the moment he met a distaff counterpart of himself, or Lady Deadpool, what was the first thing they did after they fought that version of Captain America? They started making out. They thought it was very weird, but
yeah, but at the same time, this is Deadpool. He's conceited and narcissistic enough to feel that he's, he even if it was a male version of himself, he'd still be like, it's not gay because we're both the same person. He's that kind of guy already.
Well, yeah, he bones death.
Yep.
Thank you.
But even if they're doing it ironically, it's still stupid and desperate.
It is. It's like, why? And how much of this is Fox's decision? Morning, not Dr. 11. Not morning over here. It's evening.
Right. But it's still one of those, it shows that Disney has no understanding of what they have.
It's Disney's call. If it's Disney's call.
The point I'm making. Sorry. The point I'm making is, look how Disney's been running Marvel for the past, since pretty much they've bought it. They've been pretty much not giving it the money it needs, not letting it be what it can be. They've been doing everything they can to run it into the ground and just make it an IP farm that they can sell off to have other publishers. Because think about it, with the whole IDW bit, that's exactly what it is. And the group I stream with, that's what everyone there has been saying for a while now, is the fact that that's what it is. They're just making an IP farm that they're getting ready to sell them off and be like, hey, we just get the residuals, royalties, things like that, but we don't have to foot the bill to write the comics and so on and so forth.
Yep. No argument there. I mean, and I just guys, it's just just like you said, reeks of desperation. All that. It's just, Deadpool, I still say, is one of the best movies been out there, and even with 2. Like you guys would say, not as good as the first in its own way, but in other ways it was. I just felt some of the drama was played too straight sometimes. That's my.
Oh yeah, I do think they did that. Josh Brolin did do a good job as Cable.
Cable, yeah.
I just at the same time feel like the guy that was originally trying to get it would have been a better fit.
Thomas Jane, I think.
No. He's the guy that was the villain in Avatar.
I know who you're talking about.
He was hardcore trying to get it. He was putting on the muscle and everything to be able to play him and everything. And he had the white hair. He had everything to make a damn convincing.
That's right. He really did look convincing.
And what are you gonna do, right?
But Josh Brolin is a great actor, so.
Oh, he was.
Yeah, I'm not saying he was bad. He was pretty good.
Hello?
Hello?
Okay. It's like everyone was trying to talk at once.
Sorry about that. I just was talked to by someone else. Sorry. Actually, you guys keep talking. I'll be right back.
All right. But, and I think that's a big issue with when you have good characters like that there are multiple actors that could do a good job, and I think the dude would have done a good job. So it's one of those, we did get a good actor that did a great job, but man, that dude looked like him.
Yeah, no, I definitely see what you mean. Like again, like I said, Josh Brolin, he's pretty good, and he did a great job with Cable. But like, yeah, when I saw like the picture of that guy, I'm like, wow, that definitely looks like Cable.
Like, because he had the mustache and goatee, and right now I have the cover, the Cable #1, the Future Destiny #1 on my wall, where he has the mustache and goatee and everything, and it's like, it fits so well. Like,
I'm back.
Oh, you're back?
Yep.
Well,
What I missed?
Me too. Yeah, what did I miss? I came in and I all of a sudden heard Cable's got a goatee and Bob's like, I like Cable's goatee. And I was like, oh, okay.
Well, no, it was the fact that the actor that was petitioning to try to get cast as Cable had it, and it would have so fit.
Well, you know why they just keep reusing the same actors is because they already have them on contract.
Except different
They're not gonna cast. Yeah, they're not gonna cast more people if they already have them on the payroll.
But they did. But Brolin was a different studio, different stuff. It wasn't through Marvel Studios, so
very true.
He wasn't. Oh yeah, I guess so. Well, but they got that same guy who played what was it, Hemdell? He was also in the Ghost Rider movie. The black guy. He's the sexiest man alive. Wait a minute. The Ghost Rider. What's his name?
Idris Elba.
Yeah.
Well, what are you talking about?
He was in the Ghost Rider, and he was also Hemdall, wasn't he?
But again, that was a Ghost Rider movie. Was not. That was Sony.
That was Fox.
Or Fox? No, was it? I thought it was Sony.
I thought it was Fox. Yeah, it was Fox because
no,
it was when Fox owned all the property.
I feel like it was some company. I don't remember.
I think it was Columbia. So yeah, Sony.
Yeah, it was something different.
Okay.
It was Sony.
And
Idris Elba was in that. I'm not seeing him on the cast list.
Really?
And he wasn't in the sequel either. Oh no, he was in the sequel. No, he was in the second one.
Yeah, that's what I meant. That's what I meant.
Yeah, but that was still and that was still Sony or Columbia.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe there's some sort of thing with Marvel that they have.
I think
maybe there's some other, I don't know, underlying contract.
I think it was just a case of they're good actors, and they thought, hey, besides, he had bit parts in that.
Although I'm just saying, Ryan Reynolds was in how many of the Marvel movies he was in the last Blade movie. He was in the Wolverine movie. And then he came back to reprise the role of Deadpool, and then another Deadpool, and
then Hal.
Well, yeah, that's right. He was also Hal Jordan. I'm just saying, though. I was staying within the Marvel movies realm,
right.
But how they reuse the actors from their previous movies, Chris Hemsworth.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Not Chris Hemsworth. No, wait. Who's the guy? What was the guy's name who played Captain America?
Oh, Chris Evans. But again, that was
Chris Evans.
That was Fox's Fantastic Four before Fan Four Stick.
Oh, I'm just saying.
No, now, I will say this. Fan Four Stick, had it not been a Fantastic Four movie, had it just been its own thing, would have been a pretty good movie.
Oh, if it had been what it looked like it was trying to be, which was the sequel to, what was that movie the director was known for?
Chronicles?
Yeah, Chronicles. If it had been a Chronicles 2, like some people thought he was trying to go for, it would have been fine.
Yeah, like it was, but trying to make it a Fantastic Four movie. But at the same time, you got to take into account we got a re-edited version because
they realized it was going way off the rails and it was too late.
Well, no, because what he wanted to do and what 20th Century Fox wanted to do were two different things. Like the entire ending was completely reshot.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, you can tell by the wig.
Not just that, it's like the whole, like, look at the guy who played Reed Richards. He had a beard and then all of a sudden was clean shaven, or I should say scruff, and then was clean shaven. He also the fact that they basically, the whole ending was meant to be something completely different. Like, I mean, completely different.
Yep, I'm aware of some of that. I pay attention to Midnight's Edge.
Yeah, and I think the original ending might have actually worked better for the movie. And if you remember, he even did the whole tweet bit where he's like, if you what I had planned for the movie been done, it would have been an amazing movie, something like that.
True, but then again, he also shot himself in the foot right before the release.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what he was talking about, was the fact that what he had planned was something completely different, and he was trying to let the fans know, hey, don't associate me with this mess that they are giving you, because once again, he saw the writing on the wall that they pretty much are going to butcher his vision. Not that there's
true, but yeah, what are you gonna do? At least it bombed so badly, there was no any plans went right out the window.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then the actors still try to say, "Oh, well, we could still make a sequel." No, you're not.
Oh, no, I would say this. I would have rather have had them had gone a Fantastic Four 3 after, because Rise of the Silver Surfer was not that bad.
It was bad, but it could have been worse.
Oh yeah, I said it was better than the first movie.
I didn't mind the first movie too much. I just think that they could have done a better job.
Chiclet's best thing, period.
What was that?
Michael Chiklet's best Ben Grimm thing, period.
Oh yeah, he did a good job. But at the same time, I still stand by the best Fantastic Four movie that was made was the '94 one. They at least tried to make it.
But they had no idea. They didn't know it was just going to be an ash can.
Yeah. Hey, for having only a budget of $1 million, I think they did a pretty good job.
Actually, I would say the best live-action Fantastic Four, and I don't know if any of you guys know about it, the never-released TV show.
I didn't even know there was a TV show.
Oh, yeah, and get this. You want to know who would have played Reed?
Huh.
The guy who played the professor on Gilligan's Island. And who would have played Stu? The actress who went on to play Samantha in Bewitched. You would have had, and you would have had Burgess Meredith as the Mole Man.
Oh, that would have been awesome.
You would have had Bruno Sanatorum, the wrestler, as the Hulk. They would have adapted so much of the comics.
That might have actually been pretty good.
There was a website they used to talk about called onpetunia.com, but yeah, I think that's long gone. But yeah, it was the only place. Unfortunately, years ago, they showed it at a Comic-Con what they had shot, but everything else afterwards was lost in a fire.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, the 1994 one, that was with Roger. That was the Roger Corman, right?
I do believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that one being all right.
Like, I remember getting a hold of it at a convention. I didn't even know, I was like, what, this is a thing? You know what I mean? And I was actually quite impressed. I mean, I watched that movie a few times. Hell, I did a kind of a bit of a riff track live stream. I couldn't get the sound to work out too well, so it was kind of and I had to blast my eardrums in order to, so I couldn't really hear the jokes others were making.
Oh, isn't it going on still right now? Isn't it someone posted now on YouTube recently, like a decent quality version of it?
I think I did find it on YouTube, but all the copies I found were poor quality.
Right.
And if I could find a good quality version, or hell, if half of us could find a good quality version, here's the thing, that's a prime example of Disney, if they could figure out, or if they could find a good copy of it and release that to the public, I think people would buy it in a heartbeat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially with some extra features on there, that'd be really good.
Yep. Oh, I'm sorry. Go on.
Oh, I was just saying, yeah. I was just agreeing.
Yep. I will also say this. The guy, I just looked through the Wayback Machine to find the site. They would have had William Damaris from stuff like That Darn Cat and other stuff. They would have had him as the Thing. And looks like the guy they would have had, and Johnny would have been a new person. But yeah, they would have actually done a Nihilist. They would have done everything that's been done in the comics. They would have done.
See, that would have been awesome.
Yep. And also some of the writers, they had Richard Matheson do Doctor Doom, the Doctor Doom episode. You know who Richard Matheson is, right? Incredible Shrinking Man, some of the best Twilight Zones.
Oh, right.
Never was a Twilight Zone fan.
Yep.
Not
And
gonna
they
lie.
had Harlan Ellison do also an episode. I mean, and the funny thing about the Bruno Sammartino Hulk, when you look at him, he looks a lot like the Ang Lee Hulk, but real.
See,
And Richard Donner directed the Annihilus episode.
And may I say, because you just reminded me of it, the Lou Ferrigno as the Hulk, man.
Yes, that's how they should have drawn the Hulk. That's how they should have started doing it. If they wanted to be cool. On a completely unrelated note, do you guys know who Little Girl Lethal is?
I know about that. Upcoming.
I know Bob knows. They're only they're less than 400 away from being fully funded. I'm sorry, I gotta show for Slick Jimmy.
Oh,
I put a thing in the Google Hangouts.
I gotta say this very quickly. One other big name drop that Fantastic Four series could have had. People are always wondering, did he ever do comic book stuff? Orson Welles would have voiced the hate monger.
Oh my god.
That would have been actually kind of cool.
Yeah, think about that a second. Orson freaking Welles playing.
Well, he did the Transformers movie, so.
And this was in the 60s.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, and may I say, the dude that
looks like Lola dropped out.
Aw.
Yeah.
Oh.
We bored her. Oh,
probably.
Sorry.
Are we that lame?
We are
Sorry,
that
Lola.
lame. I blame myself.
We should have gave her more of a platform. I'm joshing you.
But no,
it's all good, man.
I still say
it has still been fun.
I still say the actor that played the Brain in the old Pinky the Brain, how he always the way he always tried to portray more of the or give the Brain Orson Welles' voice. I always thought that was funny.
Actually, that just reminded me on a sort of related note. What was it? They're doing a new Scooby-Doo movie, and
they're finishing 13 Ghosts.
Yeah, and I believe LaMarche plays Vincent Price character.
You guys believe they're going to be finishing that up? I mean, you guys remember 13 Ghosts?
I do. What are they going to cross over with Scooby-Doo?
She just told me that her phone died. Yep.
Nah, she just thought we were lame.
Yeah, but the 13 Ghosts. This is the 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo, that old show. This is them wrapping it up. That storyline.
Yeah, so that was still awesome. They had Vincent frickin' Price in it.
Yeah, originally. Yeah, this is the one that had that character, that boy Flim Flam. And it was just back when it was Scooby, Shaggy, and Daphne. No, I don't think Scrappy was in it, was he?
Yeah, he was in it.
Yeah, well, he's not in the movie.
All I gotta say is, to quote Eddie Izzard, "Scrappy Doo with a pistol." Thank you.
I gotta say, Scooby Apocalypse has done a great job with Scrappy.
Like Scrappy Doo.
Well, he saved Scooby Doo. Actually, he saved the show.
How? He was so
no. He back then when he came out, when it was done, it was actually he was popular. The show was getting stale, and that's something people forget about. And I forget the guy who created him, but he's a recurring writer in the industry, at least back in those days. He made it very clear. Kids loved Scrappy. He's gotten this bad rep now, but back then it saved Scooby. Scooby would not have been around by now if it wasn't for Scrappy.
I think what happened was the kids just grew up and they realized, oh, we used to watch this.
Yeah, and it says a lot when Tim Curry refused to do the live action movie. The moment he found out Scrappy was the big villain.
I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah, he was going to be in Rowan Atkinson's role.
See, and may I say, the way Tim Curry's in bad straits now. Like, he had a stroke. He's in a wheelchair.
At least he's still able to smile and talk.
Yeah, but man, It's. I know you're not supposed to like to me. Wishing he would finally die is not ill wishing him. It is putting him out of his poor misery. I would, if I was in his shoes, I'd be like, kill me now, please. Like, oh, I can't do what I love anymore. I'm stuck in a wheelchair. I require other people so I can live. I've lost all independence. You know what I mean?
Yep, I know exactly what you mean. I mean, yeah, in this case, it is more of a, like you said, mercy. It would be a mercy, but hey, like I said, he's still shown to be smiling. I don't think he's as miserable as other people in similar states.
Possibly. I'm just how I would feel.
Well, yeah.
If I was in that situation, I'd be like, oh God, I'd be miserable. Like, I feel bad for him. Like I said, that's me.
Yeah, I get that.
Didn't mean to kill the vibe. I was just trying to say.
You ruined everything.
I do. It's my superpower.
Robert's first stream, you're ruining it.
I'll never have another stream. Wait, what did we talk about? I got distracted.
We were talking about Scrappy. We're talking about the Scrappy Doo. I don't know how we got into that. Well, I think I started it by saying, "Oh, you hear about that new Scooby-Doo movie they're doing?" Oh.
Yeah, but I would have brought it up anyway, actually, because I can't wait for that movie.
So is it gonna be live action or animated?
No, it's still animated. The animated stuff has gotten better with the writing ever since Mystery Incorporated. Even Be Cool Scooby-Doo, as much of a goofy and how I didn't care for the designs, was not that badly written.
Is that the one that's on TV now?
I think it is.
I don't know if it's still on. We have Cartoon Network.
Cartoon Network's kind of screwed it over, just like a lot of their other shows.
I did like how they were doing some like crossovers, like from back in the Hanna-Barbera era. Like they had Blue Falcon, and yeah, like that was pretty funny. Like, I guess my kids enjoy Scooby-Doo, so I mean, there's certain properties that I may not really be all that I might not enjoy, but if it's kid friendly. There's certain things that, I'm going to be like, okay, all right, kids. Like Teen Titans Go or, Scooby-Doo.
I gotta say, Teen Titans
you guys might shit on Teen Titans Go, but it's fucking funny anymore.
I'd say this. It depends, given how, especially, like, the earlier episodes were actually decent, but as it went on and they had to start, as they openly admit, chugging episodes fast, that's when the writing started to suffer because they really had very little prep time. And by the time the movie, they at least had all the time in the world. That's why that movie worked.
And real quick, we got a DC Fans United in the chat. What's up, DC?
Oh, hell yeah.
Hey,
what up, DC?
Hey, DC.
That guy, that's the real comic book guy right there. He's a good dude. DC Fans United. Hell yeah,
Actually, he's openly admitted. He's openly admitted. He's conceded. I seem to know more about Marvel and DC than he does. He's current DC.
My gasps.
Oh no!
Say it ain't so.
I will not go. Turn the lights off. Follow me home. Na 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 na. Okay, you're showing my age here.
See, he admits it.
We'll try talking to Robert on a regular basis. No, I'm kidding.
Either way, that's what we got.
Look at what he said.
Yep, lots of people know more than he does. I think he's just being
humble. Hey, John.
Hi there.
Hey, you want to join in? I'll wait for him to respond, but I've been hearing him on some of the others, on other streams lately. Good guy.
Oh, cool.
Yep. But
this is the nice thing. You're like welcoming to anybody to join the stream. That's really cool.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's my first stream. Why shouldn't I? Okay, send me a DM and on Twitter, and I'll send you the link.
Word
up.
That's kind of my I'll admit a lot of people said it around me to such a point that now that's become one of my staple words. Like,
word.
Like my friends will even make fun of me about it. It's like, oh, you didn't say word. It was a simple yes, no, whatever.
You gotta have your wacky catchphrases.
Yep.
Hey, no. That I don't have catchphrases unless it's involving reticuloids and soy.
I think your catchphrase is "There's a war on for your wallet, America."
That is my catchphrase. When I'm in character, that is my catchphrase.
Fucking love Bob Jones, man. You guys know he's canon in the Revengers universe. You guys, I might be giving saying more than what you guys understand.
What about the nerds?
Yeah, Bob Jones is a character in a comic book. Just so you guys know, real life, it's gonna happen.
Really?
Yep. Believe me, that is something that I will be like. No matter what, at least I can say I am in a comic book.
Really?
Yeah. Wow.
Word. Oh, DC fan. Word is the word.
I thought bird was the word. Damn it! I've been wrong all these years. Like, either way.
Exactly.
Bird.
You know, my brother was watching one of the older Family Guys. Well, I don't know where it fits, but it was the one that had those faulty clones of Brian and Stewie, Bitch Brian and Bitch Stewie.
Oh God, that was one of the funnier episodes, I will admit.
Which season was that? I don't remember that one.
Season 5 or 6, I do believe.
Yeah, I'm trying to think because I think it was maybe at the start of maybe somewhere in season 5 where it kind of dropped off.
I think I'm just looking at what the episode was. It was the one that where Quagmire had season 8. It's the one where Quagmire turns out had a daughter.
Oh, okay.
I gotta say though, one of the best of the recent episodes was the one that kind of aped Rocky 3.
No, really?
I showed you that one, Alex, remember?
See,
one that a guy edited down to the Creed 2.
Oh yeah, that was awesome.
See, I really stopped watching Family Guy after a certain point. Like, I think I made it to season 9. Yeah, because that's what I have on my computer, is up to season 9. And I was just like, started watching Family Guy, but I think it's season 6 or 7 where I feel like Family Guy even, or not Family Guy, but American Dad even jumped the shark, and it was just, it's, to me, I preferred the early seasons where Stan was like a hardcore Republican. A lot of his like his job, him being CIA and things like that, was a big, I guess you could say, story point a lot of the times, and the shenanigans he got into because he was CIA and things like that. But when the later seasons where they started to move away from that and whatnot.
Oh, wait, they did?
Say it again?
I said they did? I had no idea. I've been out of touch with that show.
It's about season 6. It's where, like season 6, season 7, it just started to become too much. Like, they really jumped the shark. Like, season 6 had a lot of really solid episodes halfway through. I'd say the last, like...
Oh, hey, John.
How you doing, beautiful people? It's good to be here.
Hello. Hey, Bob, have you met John?
No, I have not.
It was my first time meeting him, but I've heard him before.
Say that again?
It's my first time interacting with him, but I've heard him before on Ingleteen's stream lately.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
That's
awesome. Ingleteen's a real good guy. He's a real good guy.
Yep. So yeah, we just been shooting the breeze. That's what it is for my first stream. Just bring up whatever.
Yeah. Oh, at least
right now I got John De La Rose throwing shade on me on Twitter. It's funny.
Oh boy.
Yeah, he throwing shade at me because John De La Rose has allegedly been trolling people, and some people thought it was me. And I had Edwin Boyette said no, John De La Rose is Hispanic guy. It's an offer, and John Wall is totally African American guy, totally different. And I guess De La Rose heard that, he's throwing shade at me, and I said, well, sir, I wish you all the luck and respect, and God bless you, and I hope you make millions of dollars on your horror novels.
See, just another thing that, like I said, when I called everyone out, that was one of the things I was like, hey, just because you're getting, blasted by the war campaign doesn't mean he, you know what I mean, needed to go after other people.
For a while, I was defending JDA for a while at first because it felt like, oh, come on. It was mostly around the peak of the stuff with Roe. But as time went on, it's like, dude, you are digging your own grave right now. You are the one who's basically, bringing it upon yourself now, making things worse. I mean, that's why I really started this whole, it's a matter of pride, but he's just pushed it to a whole nother level. And the moment when Tug got doxxed, that's when I just felt like, okay, you lost me. You are just so insensitive that you are just, you're just making up things. And after what happened with Renfamous and Nancy, if he is still defending Ren, nope.
See, and that's my whole thing. It's like, Edwin Boyette is the best of us. Like, he really is. He's just a kind old man that he just wants to see everybody get along, wants to see everybody be right by his God, and so on and so forth. And while he himself is doing what his scripture says to do. And I have no problem with that. To me, that is, he is being the definition of a proper Christian and whatnot. So when you have people like, JDA.
Hey, John, what's that noise on your end?
Oh, sorry about that. I was counting money. Is it too loud?
A little. Yeah, it's a little loud.
Oh, sorry about that.
No problem.
But no, the thing, like, he always tries to live by the example that he wishes to set. So when you see JDA just blasting him and picking fights with him and everything, it's like, come on, dude.
Oh yeah. There are times where even I look at him like, okay, again, the earlier point, there were points where I was more saying with JDA, or even with Edwin, I felt like, okay, you guys, because I was more mixing Edwin in with everyone in the war campaign. But as time went on, and even Edwin's trying to be the kind of guy like, okay, guys, come on, can we please not go there, and all that. Once I started seeing him do that, I'm like, okay, you're still trying to get, be the sane man in that room, but at the same time, you see JDA still trying to hold on to everything and just keep everything going. It's like, okay, what is it you want? Do you want them to just go away and your side to be dominating? Because that's what it feels like it is. It feels like they want it to be like, he came into Comicsgate thinking it was one thing, and no one knew exactly what he was thinking, because everyone was on a similar page. Then the stuff with Vox Day happened, and then everything became very crystal clear where everyone stood. And since then, he just cannot accept the fact that, it's not matching what I thought it was. Well,
and see, and that's exactly part of the problem. Is the fact that it's like I understand. I'm a firm believer in the whole it takes all types. Like, I don't necessarily, you don't have to agree with me, if that makes sense. I'm a big boy. We can have disagreements and things like that. But at the same time, I don't appreciate it when you go after, quite frankly, a kind old man who's got nothing bad to say about anybody. And you're doing it because, quite frankly, I don't know. One of the things that, one of my early interactions when it came to Comicsgate was a dude showed up and was like, all right, I'm ready for my purity test. And someone made the comment about how, no, we don't do that here. That's the other side that does that. And that really stuck with me. And it's basically like, to me, I feel like he's wanting a purity test. You're either for sure all in, or you're one of them.
Hey, look what he's doing to me. He's right now on Twitter. You can see it right now on my profile. He's got his little troll army attacking me, and all I said was, I wish you good well. I wish you wealth and health. And I actually based the character after him. I'm going to use in my book later on down the line, and I blew him a kiss. And now he's like, oh, well, you can't turn the other cheek and take the moral high ground, and you're trying to act all tough. I said, no, sir. Matter of fact, when I get back on Twitter, I'm going to say, you know what, Della Rose, you want to hug? We're both named John. You want to hug and a kiss? I'll make you feel better, sir.
And here's the thing. Here's where I lost it with him. At one of the points, I was trying to start up responding to, it was when Testosterone Overload did that stupid poll and tried to, bring everything up. I started tweeting saying, at first, my first part of my response said that I felt JDA crossed the line when Tug, when he went after Tug, but I was still going with my thread. After I finished, I looked back and noticed he had replied saying, and you crossed the line when I was being attacked by Tug on the War Campaign stream, and thanks for having my back. And I was about to reply, he deleted it not long after, probably because he did an impulse respond to it, and then read the rest of my thread where I was talking middle ground. Both sides have their problems, and they got to meet it, in the middle. But it was just like, it didn't even bother to finish reading it. You just had to make it back to about you and why weren't you there for me and all that stuff. I just got to say, I am glad. Originally, I was going to try and put down money for the trade version of Flying Sparks, but then I was tight for money by the time of the end point. So I told him, I'm going to do it for the PDF because I didn't know he was going to actually have it be in demand. Could you let me be able to still send in the rest later? And he said, sure, when we get closer, send me the rest through PayPal. I'm glad I didn't take him up on that offer. I'm glad I just stuck to the PDF, the $12 PDF.
See, and that's the one thing that, like I said, that bothered me is we had a opportunity here for all of us to get along, to prove that we're all fans. We all care about comic books as a whole, and instead we ended up having the same thing happen to us that happened to Gamergate, and that happens to every one of these, consumer revolts, if you will, where we started infighting, things like that. Like a prime example, okay, and this is one reason why you won't hear me really talk bad about, for instance, like the Bro and the War Campaign. I'll call them on their shit. But I won't really talk too bad about them because I even blatantly said in the stream, fuck them, fuck Bro, this, that, and the other, and they still came up to me, hey man, what's your grief with us?
They've done the exact same thing to me when there were times where I saw trolls attacking, like back when Zoma the Watcher got, attacked by Bear Keys or whatever, but and now some other people are trying to start it up again, but I think Zoma's ignoring it. But back when that happened, I went off and started saying, oh, yeah, they're part of the War Campaign. Then the War Campaign guys came and said, nope, he's not one of us. Nope. And then I eventually later again brought him up again at a separate point because I was fearful of trolls. And they're like, hey, dude, nope, those types, not us. It was some other people who really weren't part of their group. And it was just like, okay, they came in and talked and chilled me out.
Huh. Well, and that's the point I'm making, is the fact that, they could have been mad and could have been like, la da 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 da, but instead they decided to come up to me and actually try to find out, hey, why do I have a problem with them? What's my issue? Things like that. I respect that. It's better to sound that I'm a firm believer. If you're willing to be civil, I'm going to respect it, and I'm going to attempt to be civil back.
Agreed.
Well, and I will admit I've had some. I talk to John De La Rose every once in a while. He's not a bad guy.
No, not definitely.
I can't say that I agree with everything that he says, but I will admit that every interaction I've had with him has been pleasant. The same goes for EVS. Every time I've tried to contact him, he's gotten back to me and has been cool about it.
Oh yeah, I mean, I met him. Well, sorry.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I met him well before this, and he was still a nice guy when he was still in the convention circuit and all that. And I still remember how he would talk about it, even if he was feeling a little bit, cranky due to other circumstances going on. I think one of the times I had met him, it was around the time of his divorce. I'm not sure, but and he was still though able to put up a good face and be like, oh no, hey. Completely, he just kept his focus, kept his chill.
Maybe I'm playing devil's advocate to some degree, but imagine basically overnight, you become an e-celebrity and you get 50, well, maybe not 50,000, but 5,000 messages a day.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine that, where you have to basically turn off your phone or whatever, your computer. You can't look at pretty much any of your social media without 600 to 700 people friend requesting you or DMing you or whatever.
Oh, good Lord. I would go stir crazy. Wouldn't you, Alex?
Yeah. I mean,
Well, that's
all
the
at
thing,
once,
it's like-
that's just oof.
There's certain group chats that I come back like I miss a day's worth of a chat, and I'm coming back. I'm looking at like 197 messages. I'm like, what the, like, imagine that. Imagine you get 300 emails a day.
Oh, that was one of the
How are
things
you gonna feel?
that was one of the things that was brought up during Ingleteen's 5-hour stream earlier last night, this morning. Was I gotta give Ingleteen props for that. He just left it all open and saw through to the end of anyone who had troubles with him during the debate the other night. You got to give him props for that. Mad props.
Englishine is a good guy. That's like my uncle right there. I love that guy to death. He's a good guy. People call him an old timer and a fence sitter, but his voice is just as important as EVS's. It really is.
Agreed. He's the first person that got me to, like, I did my first live stream on I Love Comics.
Oh, for real?
Yeah,
that's a good dude. He's a good dude.
Yeah, I wouldn't even be doing this if it wasn't for him.
Well, and I'd mentioned last night when I first started live streaming and whatnot, or not live streaming, but when I first started really using my channel for basically, like I said, about my channel, like news and politics and whatnot, I asked him to take a look at a video and tell me what he thought, and no problem. He checked it out. He gave me, advice and whatnot, and I actually still remember that video because it was the video. It was where I was talking about the FISA memo and everything, actually. And like,
DC fan, yes, I know Zoma is back. He's been back for a while, but let's just say recently with after the stuff with you guys dealing with Hut and all that. Let's not get into that again. But after all of that, he's with me and Nerdhead and all that. He's saying, okay, I'm unsubscribing to you guys. I'm not following you guys anymore. I don't want to deal with it. You guys should just basically ignore it and wait for it to settle down. Yeah, he's basically pushing away again, but at least being more civil about it.
Wait, what's going on?
Zoma the Watcher, he's been back for a while after that meltdown he had a while ago.
I don't even know who you're talking about.
Yeah, can't say I'm familiar with the guy.
Yeah, he was just a DC fan, and I and Nerdad and some of the others like going saying know him and all. Don't worry.
Yeah, I get. Well, if you guys are saying that, I guess I don't need to.
You don't need to know. It's just I'm just responding to him.
Yo, what's your Twitter handle? I forgot it again.
Oh, mine at Starredcraft. Star ED Craft or Stared Craft if you want to go that way.
Okay, because then I'll follow you back and you can.
Yep.
You'll recognize.
Yep. Well, you recognize me because I use the same avatar.
Nice. Oh,
Yeah,
I've probably
one
seen
and only
that.
Skeletor.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
I gotta say
Very
though,
cool.
I'll be honest. Speaking of which, the new She-Ra show.
Oh no!
No, I have not watched it on yet. I will just say this from the trailer. I've been a fan of She-Ra. Pisses me off about how they've been talking about it.
Please let's not talk about Noel Stevenson's piss poor fan fiction. Because we all know it's piss poor fan fiction.
All I'm trying to say was I am still going to give it a shot. Mostly because may I say why, please?
Sorry.
Because when I saw the trailers, I'm at least grateful they are still, for the first episode anyway, sticking true to her story. They didn't ever be She-Ra off the bat. They actually kept her being part of the Horde and all that, and are actually doing some things with that. I do not like the character designs. I do not like some of the other things they're implying about it, but I am still surprised they kept true to that and didn't go so far off the rails. It's not even funny.
Mr. Robert, do you know that it's been leaked to Clownfish TV that basically the whole entirety of the show is going to be a way to indoctrinate little girls to being lesbians, right?
What?
Because every other female character on the show is dating another female character on the show.
Look,
I can believe that.
If I can get through Steven Universe, and I like Steven Universe, I still say it does a lot of stuff. I say it does a lot of that stuff people complain about.
Show,
right?
Yeah, that show was boring to me. I'm sorry.
Oh, hey,
it was just kind of boring.
Some people say that. I completely understand it. I still say though, and hey, Alex, you can kind of back me up on this one, right? That it's handling a lot of stuff a lot better than other shows do.
Yeah, I think, but I definitely see the points for both sides, especially because with a lot of the padding, it does kind of just like get. But then there are some other moments where it's like, oh, okay, I can get behind this.
Yep, and again, they do handle relationships a lot more complicated. It's not always like, oh, I'm in complete and utter love with you. I mean, when they do stuff with Garnet, that's been going along since the beginning of the show.
Well, that's not my main gripe about the show. It just has it's the same kind of gripe that I had with Dragon Ball Z, was where there was so much exposition, sorry.
Yep.
Where you're just blah 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 blah, and that's your entire episode. There's like
True, but they usually save that for the Wham episodes, usually where they make the big reveals, which. And more as time went on, there was like a large.
You can't talk bad about Dragon Ball Z on YouTube.
No,
You're gonna make him subscribers.
Sorry, yeah. I mean, there were those episodes. I watched them. I didn't care that they were just blah 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 talking the entire time. It was like 30 minutes of Goku being like, ah.
How long did those 5 minutes last on Namek again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You had to go there.
Longest 5 minutes ever.
Yeah.
But you gotta admit that last fight on Super with Jiren was phenomenal. That last fight was freaking phenomenal. It was, because look, if you think back to the Namek saga, when you saw Goku and Frieza killing each other, you would never thought that like 25 or so years later, the Goku and Frieza would be teaming up to help each other.
Oh, you're right. Although, look what's going to happen in the movie. It looks like Frieza's ready to kill Goku again.
Oh, this is my shocked face? Just saying.
Yeah, the same 30.
I'm just saying.
Waka waka.
Yes.
But actually, in the manga, from what I heard, they went a totally different route. Instead of Goku and Frieza, it's going to be Goku and Vegeta that beats Jiren.
Oh, it's always gonna be those two, isn't it?
Listen here, I'm a Saiyan Prince guy.
Listen here, Kakarot. Listen here, Kakarot. I'll have you know, I am the Prince of all Saiyans. You will take orders from me. Really?
What orders? wait. So are we ordering food? Is that what's going on?
Oh, don't get me started. How much Super has gone back to Goku and being more of a jackass.
Goku's got the mentality of a 3-year-old child. You can't blame that on him. He wants to eat, sleep, and fight.
But Super turned that up to 11.
No. I'm actually doing a bridged Goku
I loved the end of the Cell Saga.
That was great.
Where you find out you actually put a lot of thought into this, except for one thing. What's that? Gohan doesn't like fighting. What?
Oh, I screwed up.
I know. Oh my god, I made a terrible mistake. Oh my god, I made a terrible mistake. That's you.
Yeah, well, I mean, if Goku doesn't work, we always have Kenshiro or Toriko.
True.
Or if you're into that type of stuff, we got Bleach. If you're into that type of stuff.
Actually, I like the Bleach series to some degree. Another one, well, pretty much all animes do that, exposition episode where they just...
You just near the end of an arc or the series.
Yeah, and also it doesn't help when, it's like when it's based off a manga and they have to fill all that stuff up,
Yep. Yeah, and it even knows that ever since Inuyasha Final Act, we've been starting to get the whole, either we'll take the FMA Brotherhood or Sailor Moon Crystal route of be true to the manga, or we'll actually wrap up what's been done before.
Well, I think a lot of that really came from they started to realize with like comic movies and things like that, the movies that did the best were the ones where they kept close to the source material.
No, I'm talking about wrapping up or retelling the animes that were already done.
I'm sorry, but like for me, I would have actually. I'm still kind of pissed. I never got a season 2 of Berserk. So.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Attack on Titan.
No, Berserk. I'm not a big AOT fan. Never happened.
I still remember not long after that came out, I went to Youmacon one year, and I just thought, oh, these people in military suits, and I had no idea about Attack on Titan, so I'm like, what the heck is all this about? It's Attack on Titan.
I liked that one.
You've been enlisted into the war, Robert.
Yeah, I did during that year.
Attack on Titan, the first season, I gotta admit, it was real emotional. It drawed me in, but 2 was kind of a downer. Season 2 was kind of a downer. I look forward to the Armor Titan and Eren fight, and it was not as good as I expected it to be.
I'm sorry, but I couldn't move. I couldn't continue watching it after they killed Potato Girl.
They killed Potato Girl.
Not Potato Girl.
That show is. Oh no.
Well, at least now people have My Hero Academia.
See, and I've yet to watch that. I want to read My Hero manga.
I'm waiting until I can buy it all at one big shot, because that's something, that one looks like one that you want to own, like One Punch Man. Like I want to own those, like the Cowboy Bebop series. You want to own
or Space
certain
Dandy.
ones. Yeah, there's certain ones that you just want to own. And I don't mind holding off to binge watch the shit out of that.
Yeah, not Dr. 11 just had asked earlier. So here's the question: which will be worse, She-Ra or Thundercats? Meaning Roar.
Both of them make me want to punch myself in the crotch.
I will say this,
watching an episode.
I say Thundercats Roar still, just because even despite again what you guys point out with She-Ra, it's still being more faithful to the source story of everything before and just putting it in their own way, as opposed to Thundercats Roar, where I'm pretty sure from what everything looks like, it's going to be a complete farce and be like they're going to Teen Titans Go It, where they're not even being the characters. It's like Nostalgic recently said.
Wait, I got a question. You know what's worse? What if they did a Justice League TV show with the same animation as Thundercats Roar?
I think they're going to take a pause from that after they've kind of screwed over Justice League Action, which was great.
I'm just like, why can't? This is why we can't have nice things. They have to ruin everything that is awesome and beautiful within the world.
Oh yeah, the Green Lantern cartoon.
That was great. Not bad. Yeah, that was pretty good actually.
Well,
I like the AI ship, the Hal Jordan character. That was not bad at all.
You gotta blame the movie for that one.
Yeah,
the toys are not selling. They still had toys left. Shit.
Well, I got brand new ones of fucking Hal Jordan and Sinestro for $3 on the discount shelf at Walmart, and I was like, "Yeah, let me just not open these because maybe one day they'll be worth something." Probably to some crazy collector that they'll be worth something.
Yeah, it's
I'll sell
unfortunate.
Them I know who to sell them to. EVS.
You would say, Alex?
Yeah, saying it was unfortunate how that movie kind of dealt a blow to Green Lantern's credibility for a while, especially remember in the Lego movie when they just made fun of Green Lantern. You hated that.
I hated that because it's like Charles Tatum as Superman, great. I get what they were going. They were trying to pair him back up again from 21 Jump Street, but it's like, did they have to make him a bucktooth? Duh.
Well, as I actually said last night in DC Fans United stream, the biggest it wasn't the fact that they had the wrong actors or anything. It's the fact that they tried to make a third movie villain in the first movie. It was just.
I have to wonder how much of that was Jeff Johns and how much of that was kind of pushed on him.
Well, I agree with you there. It had to have been pushed on because Jeff Johns was trying to be like, guys.
Well, remember, he still loves telling the story. Back when he tried to pitch it when he was working with Donner, you know what? The moment that he and Donner just walked away from the meeting was, does he really need a ring? They asked that the editors, the executives legitimately asked that. He and Richard just walked away from that meeting. They're like, they don't get it. They don't get it.
For real? They asked if Green Lantern needed a fucking ring.
Yeah, exactly. They said, does he really need that ring?
They should have just bitch smacked.
Did y'all hear about Tom? Did y'all hear about Tom Cruise trying to allegedly play Green Lantern? How would you feel about it?
I feel like that would work very well.
A certain,
let him be the Parallax Hal Jordan or that old version of the older Hal Jordan. where then you can bring in some of the younger guys like Kyle Rayner or Jon Stewart or Guy Gardner, you know, then you can have that kind of fun, hey, you know, I'm not as young as I used to be kind of Hal George.
Oh yeah, I mean, if there's someone who could pull it off, it's Tom Cruise. Because say what you will about the man's personality, the guy, when he does a role, he is committed.
Yeah, I
Also
feel like
Top Gun.
yeah, well, definitely that. But I feel like he can sort of adapt to it. He's a really good actor, I think.
Yeah.
No, because let's be honest, anyone who knows, like, I'm not a horror movie guy, but I loved the original The Mummy movies. So I wanted
Okay, I think that was more of a case of they offered him way too much just to get him for the role. That he basically, like, you can have as old as star power. I think that's the case. Like, if he's really into the role, he'll commit to the role. It's something like I'm
pretty sure everyone has already forgotten about those except for you, Bob.
Because
I just did until you remembered or reminded me.
Because I was going to say this is that one of my favorite movies he was ever in was Collateral.
Oh yeah, but the point I'm making...
Collateral was a very, very fun movie. That movie, especially the soundtrack, that song from Audio Slave, that just made that scene all more better.
I love the behind the scenes stuff. We find out just because it's Michael Mann, of course, how much, like, the guy who played the cop never shot his gun, but he was taught how to shoot it. He's like, I was taught how to be a crack shot, never got to use it in the movie.
Right. But no, the point I was making though is the fact that the reason why he killed the entire Dark Universe, and that could have been something really awesome. And I don't like horror movies, so
I more blame Akiva Goldsmith.
No, they literally, if you follow what happened, it was because he literally changed everything about the movie that was going to make it.
Sorry, DC fan points out Edge of Tomorrow. That was a good movie.
It was.
But yeah, that's all I'm saying is he changed everything that would have made that movie awesome, and he is one of those It's one of those moments where you have an actor that couldn't check his ego.
Yeah, well, remember this. He almost was Tony Stark.
Yeah.
I mean, RDJ was more perfect, and I'm pretty sure that if they were already starting to be worrying about paying RDJ salary by the time they were getting to Avengers, just imagine how it would have been for Tom Cruise.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
They probably would not even been able to get the second movie off the ground. Because I don't think he's the type of guy to sign up for multiple movies. He would do it a case by movie. Unless he's the producer of it, like Mission Impossible.
Well, I'm not really a big Mission Impossible fan. Like, I thought the first movie was kind of cool because it was the first time they were trying to bring back the franchise and everything. So I was like, all right, that looks like it'll be cool. And then, like, them killing off like half the people from the original team, I was just like, all right, you've lost me.
Yeah, but I would still say this. My opinion, the second one is the weakest in my opinion. As far as
the second one was actually okay, especially how he killed the guy at the end when he dropped down and grabbed the gun. Because if you think about it, they actually used that on Resident Evil with Claire Redfield. They took that same scene from Mission Impossible 2 and let Claire Redfield do it.
Yeah, that's right.
That was great. Yeah, in Code Veronica. But I'm just saying that with but at the same time, though, it's the one that felt the least Mission Impossible like.
Well, clearly nobody liked the movie because there was not enough doves in it. Come on.
I'm gonna parody that scene in my book. Thank you for reminding me of that. I'm gonna parody that.
Oh, the doves.
You're welcome.
Matter of fact, because I'm using EVS as President EVS in my book, right? So we're going to do an action scene where he shows up. There's a bunch of frogs just jump down the hallway.
Nice.
Here's the thing you have to do. They have to be doves somehow on fire. The only way to make it more badass.
No, they're going to be frogs. Be a legion of frogs jumping down the hallway. He's going to walk past the door and smile. Eat the tasty cake pie, too.
Yeah, you'll make that like your thing, like John Woo. Like with every book you come out, there have to be like more frogs.
Oh, good Lord. Let's seriously, it's like, could John Woo avoid having doves or something in his movies? Or Michael Bay with explosions and tits?
Hmm.
Really, it's so funny to believe that the first thing he did at got him his recognition was a Got Milk commercial.
What?
The very first Got Milk commercial was the one with the guy phoning in, but his mouth is so full of peanut butter and jelly and all that, and he could have won a big radio prize.
I remember
that was Michael Bay.
Wow.
He directed that with Rob Paulsen doing the voice actor doing the voice of the radio guy.
That's funny.
Yep, that got him his.
That's like I remember that too, because
William Burr or whatever.
Woo, woo,
And it's like, what are the odds of that ever happening again?
like that is, and like I'm sorry, but me, I would have been like, "Phew, William Burr. I don't care, a mouthful of peanut butter. I'd have to clean up shit. I'd have been like William Burr. Then again, I remember when my mom made a comment about that. She's like, "Well, if he hadn't put that entire sandwich in his mouth at once, he would have been able to answer the question."
Although I say this, one of my favorite Got Milks was the one where this guy's buying a bunch of box of Trix cereal, makes it all the way back, and it's the Trix rabbit in a human disguise. He's about ready to get into.
Oh, I was about to say that one.
Finally, after all these years of Trix, I forget now. Zip, there for rabbits. No milk. Well, the funny thing is, he's had the cereal at least twice. When during 2 elections, they actually had kids vote on should he get Trix or not. Both times they did it, he got it. They stopped because they realized kids actually want him to have it.
Oh yeah, it's like we always wanted to see the fucking Wile E. Coyote kill the goddamn Roadrunner.
I know, right?
I loved how Seth MacFarlane handled that.
We wanted to see Tom eat Jerry finally.
Yeah. We also wanted to see Yosemite Sam finally get bugs.
No, I'd rather Elmer Fudd get him.
Yeah, poor Elmer.
Yeah, I feel more bad for Elmer.
Oh, you rascally rabbit.
That's Yosemite Sam.
Yep.
But you gotta say about Elmer, he had the best Disney DC Looney Tunes crossover.
I know, when you told me about that, I was just like, what?
No, that Yogi Bear Deathstroke was pretty funny.
Hey there, boo boo.
Oh yeah, it was Yogi. But that's Hanna-Barbera, but yeah.
Well, that's all Warner Brothers.
Well,
it's
yeah, but I still look at.
Sorry, I've got a train coming. Sorry if you guys can hear that.
No problem.
I also love the Flash speed buggy.
Oh.
But I gotta say this, you know what I thought was the worst of any of those DC Hanna-Barbera Looney Tunes stuff was the backup story was in one of the, I think it was the DC, it was the Flash speed buggy one of them during that point that Jeff Parker wrote is the one where they brought in that ghost from the colonial times. I forgot what his name was, but they made it such a blatant anti-gun PSA where by the end of it, after all of these stupid rednecks started shooting up the place, at the very end they say they changed the rule. And the guy, they goes is saying, well, wait a minute. And they're saying, we're a regulated militia. What, do you have an army? Well, yeah. Well, then you don't need a militia. And at the very end, they say they changed the gun law. Now they have it be the only gun legally written by the Constitution, which was the old single bullet guns from way back when. It's like,
oh, come on.
That's not how it works.
Wow.
And it's like, seriously, Jeff Parker, I love a lot of your writing. Why did you have to go there?
Yeah, we needed that in a comic book involving Speed Buggy, really.
Well, no, this is a backup story, but still. And they tainted a more obscure but still beloved Hanna-Barbera character.
Well, hey guys, I'm going to dip out for now. Thank you guys so much for letting me on and let me ran my mouth a little bit. I will catch you guys later, Bob. If anybody wants a link, I will make sure Bob gets the link and he can send it to you guys and you guys can send it out next time I do a stream. I wouldn't mind getting you guys on. We can rant about comic books.
Yeah, absolutely.
No problem.
Very nice meeting you.
Yep.
I will make sure that I send Bob the link next time I'm doing a live, and hopefully you guys can jump in with this.
Yep. Oh, for the record, the Hanna-Barbera character was the funky Phantom.
Right. And I was actually about to dip out myself, oddly enough. So.
All right.
But I love you guys. I will catch you guys later.
Yep.
I
Yeah, it was
love
very
you
nice
more.
meeting you and talking with you.
Yep.
Aw,
Nice
thanks,
meeting
guys.
you. Have a
You
good
guys too.
day.
Yep.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. See you later.
Lol. But all right, guys, y'all have a good night. I shall catch y'all later.
All right.
You take care.
You
Yep.
too, man. Have fun with the rest of your stream.
Yep, I shall. Don't know if anyone else is going to pop in, but
You never know. You never
never
know.
know.
My first stream, I had Tug pop in, Edwin, and a few other people, but this is back in like August, so
yeah, oh, yeah. I mean, I already think something's going on Comics Division stream.
right. But
I think everyone's over there.
probably. But all right, y'all have fun. I shall talk to y'all later.
Yep. See ya. Yep.
See,
Just
this is the kind of family I love. This is what I've been talking about all along. How all of us geeks and gamers or whatever, all us people under the all caps / Comic Geeks banner, we should all be a loving family. That's why I said a lot of people threw shade on England team for going against EVS, but I like both of them. I mean, they're both like a big brother and an uncle to me. I mean, that's family right there. I learned lessons from both of them. You know, I learned how to be an entertainer, a better entertainer from EVS, and I learned how to be a little bit more humble and accepting from England team. I mean, this is one big family that I would like to keep as a family because I totally love you guys. I'm not just saying that. I love you guys. You're beautiful. You're funny. And I mean, you guys, you held my hand while John Della Rose was trying to slide into my DMs and give me a kiss. But, you know, he would have caught me in a better mood and I probably would have, you know, gave him one back. But, you know, I handled that pretty well.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's like, you know, if like I meet someone who has like the same interests as me, it's like, hell yeah, I want to hang out with you. It's like,
Yeah, exactly. It's like, and not that it could be little interests. It doesn't have to be identical interests. You know, things like that. Yeah.
absolutely.
Exactly. Like, I mean, I stopped playing video games for the time being because I'm focusing on my writing, but I'm a gamer, you know, I love anime, manga, comic books. You know, I'm mad at DC and Marvel right now because Captain America's a Nazi and they cut Superman completely, but, you know, it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I guess I'm gonna get going too. Rob, this is a great first stream. I definitely can't wait for more, and I definitely hope to be back on again.
Yep. Well,
It was nice meeting all the wonderful people in the chat and who I've been voicing with. It was nice meeting you guys.
Yep.
Nice meeting you guys too. I guess I'm gonna dip out too then, but we can do this again. We can definitely do this again.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Because you guys are a barrel full of fun, and I love that.
Yep. That's what I was shooting for. That is what I was shooting for.
Exactly. Yes.
Absolutely.
Fun, family,
I say it's successful, Rob.
I would say so too.
Exactly. But this is what EVS told us to do. He told everybody to build their platform, be entertaining, be funny, so we could all get recognized. So by the time we launch whatever project we decide to do, people are like, hey, that's so and so. I like him.
Oh, that's part of the reason why I'm doing this. I actually am hoping to one day get a Indiegogo or something off the ground because I cannot draw to save my life at all. But I know at least one guy who can, who's going to be done with college soon, who's a great artist, has designed some of my characters before, and he's actually willing enough to do it. I plus some other friends, maybe Alex here, maybe not, you know, are going to start doing some writing on this and get this off the ground. But I realize I can't just do it all behind the scenes and then coming out of nowhere saying, hey guys, I know I've been mostly lurking, but how about you guys help me out? Like, no, I got to get a name for myself first. So
yeah,
that's what I'm trying to do, because it reminds me of that one guy who kind of complained and moaned on Halloween, like, hey, no one helped me at all. But at least with him, after he did that, people came in saying, well, here's what you need to do. And he eventually like, okay, lesson learned. At least he was being a good sport about it.
Exactly. This is practice for all of us. We could all get better. We could all get stronger, have each other's backs, and let's go out there and make them 6 figures.
Yeah, hopefully.
All right, I'm going to get going. This has been real, guys.
Yep.
All right, I'm going to see you guys later. Y'all have a blessed one. Stay safe. Godspeed. God bless. God bless the chat. We love you. And if you see John Della Rose, give him a hug because he needs one.
I think he does too.
All right. Yeah, you guys take care.
Yep.
Take care, y'all.
See ya. And that was my first stream. I think I did a very good job. And anyone still in the chat? I can't tell. Good night.